There we go. You should be able to hear me now, I hope. Hopefully I haven't fucked this up beyond repair. Anyways, hi everybody. Welcome back to Live Alive. In the last stream, we took care of the last of the near future story with Akira, and we saved the future, took down the great Inca statue of the Odeyo Temple, and over in prehistory, we got our boy Pogo some with the E-Girl by taking down the evil Tyrannosaurus. I mean, I guess just not evil Tyrannosaurus, it's just a fucking Tyrannosaur. The Tyrannosaurus Rex Odo. And in today's stream, we're going to be doing probably the two best ones. Like, I feel like I could argue which one is my favorite, or this or that, but I think when a lot of people talk about the best stories of Live Alive, these are the two I see come to mind most often. So I'd say it's time we jump into them, by first jumping into Twilight of Edo Japan chapter with Aboromaru. It is an age of strife and bloodshed which threatens to consume an entire nation. In the shadows cast by the fires of chaos, a shinobi is given a mission of paramount importance. Into a castle filled with deadly traps and wary enemies he must venture, that he might yet free a prisoner of singular talents. Yet, will the shinobi carry out his task with a merciful heart, or will he put his every enemy to the sword? One might even say, are we going to be doing this pacifist or genocide? For those of you who wonder why I've said this game inspires Undertale, this is one of the two stories that I think... These last two stories are the ones where I think you'll get a lot of why I've said parts of this game have inspired Undertale, besides just the name of Megalovania. You want to make sure you could actually hear me.
You've kept me waiting long enough. Speak.
I am pleased to report that, after a struggle, we finally managed to capture our quarry.
So, he's mine at last.
I've added the finishing touches to my puppet too, my lord. All that remains is to peel back the man's skin and replace his internal components. We shall begin work tomorrow, at dawn.
Very good.
Allow me to attend to his soul, my lord. For I do miss the taste of sweet, noble essence.
Very well. Soon the fires of war shall rage across Japan once more. And all will be mine!
My lord.
A little late, aren't we?
I am ready to depart.
Are you now? And what would become of the Emma Shinobi were you to fall? Oh? No, I will not allow it. Indeed, I would sooner go myself than send you.
My lord.
Perhaps there is another, then, who might be up to the task.
But, my lord... Surely there is no other shinobi capable of carrying out such a difficult mission. Unless... Yes. There is another who may suffice. His training is incomplete, yet he shows great promise.
Uh-huh. And his name?
My lord, the youth is called...
Why, that young man's name is Aboromaru. Or just, you know, I'm gonna do the thing I said I wouldn't do. I'm terrible at being consistent with calling him a Boromaru, so I'm gonna stick with his name from the original English fan translation. Simply, Oboro.
As you will recall,
Ah, yes. That one I know. Go and fetch him, then.
there is no need, for he has shadowed me from the first.
Impressive. Now then, yours is a secret mission of the greatest import. Are you familiar with the details?
I would hear them again.
The Ode. You know the clan, I'm sure. They are but one of many seeking to turn these troubled times to their advantage and overthrow the Tokugawa shogunate. Such is Lord Odeyo's ambition. Your mission is to infiltrate his castle and rescue a man who's been held captive there. How you achieve this is up to you. You may traverse the halls a silent shadow, or paint them red with Ode blood. However, failure is not an option. Have I made myself clear?
Yes, my lord.
Then go, young shinobi.
Wait! Before you leave, I will share with you my secret technique.
Boro learned the technique, Shadowed Self.
Should you find yourself beset by enemies, it will serve you well, for with it, you can melt into the shadows and become invisible. We haven't a moment to lose. You must master the skill during your mission. I've no doubt you will. You always were a fast learner. Good luck!
You bear a heavy burden, young shinobi. The fate of the Emma, nay, the fate of all Japan, shall be shaped by your deeds tonight.
And they're not wrong. So, you heard our master there. Our goal is to infiltrate Odeio's compound.
The Bakumatsu.
Oh, there's more fucking narration. God damn it. I thought I was free to talk.
When feudal factions fought against the forces of modernity, when men of politics and ambition wrestled for power. While men of subtle talents worked in shadow to shape events, their accomplishments unwritten. The ones known as shinobi. This is the tale of the greatest of the Emma. Who, like all, must walk a knife edge. Between life and death.
So yes, welcome to the Bakumatsu chapter. The Infiltrator. So, any more narration? Anything else to say? Or is gameplay starting and I'm allowed to talk? Come on. Any dialogue? I don't think there is. So yes. Our task, as given to us by our master, is to infiltrate this compound and make our way through. Doing so, he doesn't care how we accomplish it. We just need to get in, rescue the prisoner, and maybe find a way to take care of Odeio while we're at it to put an end to his grand ambition. Other than that, it doesn't matter how we go about it. This path is special, because unlike every other route which is linear, This one is mostly non-linear. Like, again, there's set things you need to do. Like, you're gonna need to... Like, yeah, you're pretty much gonna need to go through various things, and you're gonna end off by fighting Ode Io. But you can do it either by fighting every enemy you see, only some enemies based on how you feel, or by fighting none of them. And I'll say this right now, decide going in whether you're going to be doing pacifist or killing. There's nothing special for killing everybody. In fact, there's actually punishments for killing everybody. I mean, not huge punishments, but I guess like there are a couple items you'll miss out on. But however, if you're able to get through this entire chapter without killing any enemies, you're rewarded with a weapon for Oboro that makes him incredibly powerful come endgame. Granted, there are better options than it in endgame, so it may not be the most helpful and you may not find it worth it, but it's still a thing you can do. Now, for the most part, I'm going to be doing this pacifist just because I find it more interesting and more fun, and because doing it the good old-fashioned way means you have to grind for like half an hour to fight a super boss to get a weapon on par with the pacifist one. Now, the pacifist option still has some grinding, but we'll get to it. But this chapter is kind of interesting. So anyway, first, let's get to it. Our first step is to infiltrate. And this is where the thing that our master gave us comes into play. We can slip past the guards, or we can confront them. As you can see, they'll see you, but if you hit Y, you'll be able to go invisible long enough to distract them, and you'll still run into them. God damn it. No worries, though, if you're going for pacifist. If you accidentally engage enemies you don't mean to, unless it is a scripted encounter, you are allowed to flee with no penalty. So don't worry too much about getting, like, spotted or encountering any of the goons. Just keep going right past. As you see, it takes them an extra little second to find you, so you can use that opportunity to take a few steps and then hide yourself again. My god, that was a loud motorcycle. I'm gonna save right now, because there are a lot of points of error in doing this chapter pacifist that I'll discuss as I'm going through. But first, let's listen in.
Now then, let's go over the hourly passwords once more. Mountain!
River. Potato. I mean,
An imposter! Take him away! This method allows us to tell friend from foe with ease. Right. Back to your posts. And if you hear the bell, you know what to do.
Sir.
We have a call and response. Whenever we're met with Mountain, we're going to want to respond with the River unless the bell rings. You're going to need to keep that in mind. Well, okay, it just says the other one is Origin. So whenever the bell rings, your responsible should switch from River to Origin. Luckily, the game will let you know. For now, though, oh yeah. So I will say right now, if you're going for the pacifist route, there are going to be some things you want to do. First of all, you're going to be on the lookout for any hidden items. Again, hidden items will always be flashy. And you want to make sure that by a certain point in the story, you have 4 Kobans. I don't remember where they are off the top of my head, but overall, don't worry too much. It's not that hard. Just stop in there to get a set of armor. Equipment for Oboro isn't too important early on. You'll get good important as the thing goes on, but you know what? That's still 4 extra defense we wouldn't have otherwise. In the meantime, if we go up here, I don't think there's anything for us in the room down here. Yeah, there's just Samurai and Woman. Now, you do have the option to kill the innocent women. However, if you don't kill any of the handmaids, you are granted a kind of small, dumb reward, but it's kind of a proof that you did it at the end of the chapter, so maybe don't if you want to have a just kind of a nice little proof that you did good, that you do in fact respect women. Anyway, in the meantime, our next step is going to be to sneak our way through here. However, unlike the other guards, these ones aren't inherently hostile. Instead, they're going to give us the call, we give the response,
River.
and we are able to go in. If you answer wrong, don't worry, you can run away, back out a few steps, come forward. They have horrible short-term memory, so they will pretty much just immediately forget about you. Now, if we go in here, you'll see someone snuck off through there. That man right there is a merchant, and you need to be careful. Merchants, although they aren't really evil or hostile, unlike a lot of the other enemies, they do still count as kills. Now, there are some enemies that you can kill that don't count as kills. That sounds confusing, but it'll make sense. Essentially, you'll know if something is a kill if after beating them, Oboro mentions that he's taken a life. We're still in River.
River.
Yeah, you pretty much just want to go through, you want to find any chests, you want to avoid killing anybody. It's not too hard for the most part. Make sure you don't encounter these dudes. These dudes in particular are pretty dangerous if you fight them. They're a lot more powerful than the generic foot soldiers. But just like that shinobi did, you can work your way down here. I'll go first. Just wait here. I've not seen you before. Mountain. River.
River.
You must be a new recruit. Well, in that case, your assignment is now to guard the attic. If you spot anyone suspicious, inform me immediately. That is all. Well, we'll keep that in mind and then proceed to not do that. Go up to the attic. And I think you may already have a good guess of what's about to happen.
We did it, Papa!
Shh. Keep your voice down. Aye, you're right. Now comes the hard part.
I know, Papa. 1,000 ryo. That's all we need to steal for the Watanabe clan.
To restore us to our former glory. And share with the townsfolk, too. They'll surely honor us as gallant rogues.
Then let's hurry, Papa.
Wait. We must proceed with caution. This attic may be riddled with traps. Just leave it to me.
Papa?
Huh?
Be careful.
Of course.
Wait. Someone's skulking about the attic.
This rat won't be caught so easily.
Well done, Papa.
What now, samurai?
Found you.
Papa? Papa!
As is the fate of being a parent and child of the Watanabe family. So, that's literally just there as a gag. That doesn't have really any importance. You can peek down through the holes above to see some various scenes. I think you need to be careful, though. I think if you're not careful, you'll get caught. There's the first Koban we need. Remember, you're going to want to see 3 by the end of it. Don't worry too much about running into the mice. They only really matter later on. For now, though, just pick up the rest of these and then head down the ladder. Well, you may not want to head down the ladder. It won't hurt you, is what I'm saying. Yeah, that just puts you there. Most of the dudes sitting down won't respond to you unless you actually interact with them. Okay, that isn't one of the, Yeah, it's not... That's just back into the building. Okay. So yeah, no need to do that, then. But next up on your list of things to do is head up here.
There's the bell.
Means the password is now Origin. While you're climbing up here, going this way, a shinobi will spawn. You just kind of want to distract him. And then slowly but surely juke your way around him. Beautiful. Also, oh, I forgot to turn my phone's volume off. There we go. And going through there will take you up to the rooftops of the buildings. So now, next thing you can do is if you head up here, you can continue to run away around, and you'll go in here. However, don't go any further. If you go any further, you're going to be caught in a trap, you're going to be put in an unavoidable encounter with 5 enemies that you can't run from. So only do this if you've already gotten a few levels from doing a non-pacifist run, and you feel like you're ready to take on those enemies. You may also just want to come back later. If you're doing a pacifist run, then literally do not interact with them. Other than that, just head your way over here. So yeah, you're going to want to be careful of trapdoors. From here on out, you're going to have occasional rooms with trapdoors. Interacting with them will either send you to the prison, which we'll deal with later, or it will send you just to the start of the castle. That one's very forgiving. No real harm, no foul. And that, though, you just want to keep heading this way. You can go and jump off over here to access another part of the castle. I would not do that yet. Instead, I would just go through right into here, which will take you into the main building of the castle. While here, you'll find nothing, a storehouse key, and a slice of Castella cake. Now that you've done that, I'd recommend leaving and then going back. That may sound kind of crazy, but trust me, I'm going to do a couple things right now that will be very, very helpful in the long run. You may be able to reach them naturally by just going forward. I just like doing this now because it's a little bit easy. Actually, something I'm going to do to make it even easier is I'm actually going to take advantage of the trapdoor here. Now, you're going to want to be careful of this trapdoor later on. I'll make a point of pointing out when exactly trapdoors become much more dangerous. Either way, we just need to go back through this room. And our next goal is going to be to go to the southwest, because there are 2 storehouses on this entire area, of which we are going to need to go to one of them, and the other one is one that is incredibly, incredibly helpful if you're going to Pacifist. Just juke your way around here. Also, let me check here. Do you have anything for me? Yeah, so if you saw that merchant sneak off there, you can kill the merchants and they'll get you some special items. I think every merchant you kill gets you an extra Koban. But again, merchants' lives do count as human lives, so unfortunately if you kill them, it is the end of a pacifist run. Take this opportunity to go to this hidden storehouse in the bottom left that can be a bit hard to find. Impossible! Our hideout has been breached! You see, he says that, but nothing happens. Interact with that to get the dungeon key. Take note of the bell. The bell is based off of a timer, not based off of certain events, so yeah, it's going to change back and forth occasionally. Just need to remember that the code is now River. Now that you have the dungeon key, now you can go back to what you were doing before. Oh, god damn it, I didn't want to run into the Ronin. Oh, look, I should be able to just run away from the Ronin pretty easily. Yep, again, it only counts as murder if you actually do kill them. If you just run into them, it's nothing. I say this is a stealth chapter, but honestly, the stealth chapter, you don't even have to stealth. You can go guns blazing, and it's honestly just about the exact same difficulty, all things considered. Now that you've done that, it's time to go back to the place we were before. Actually, wait, hold on. Before I do that, oh yeah, also that shinobi up there, he's gonna stay there now. So if you're gonna be going through, you may want to take the other entrance. In this case, though, I'm just gonna go right through. Should be this left? No, that's the right door. No? What's the way through then? Oh yeah, that's right. So this far door takes you to the hallway. And then you can go straight through. Oh, there was a path through there. Okay. Is there anything in there? Yes, there's this building with a slice of Castalia cake. And a second one. Okay. Again, just don't interact with anybody. Most of them will lead to fights. Good for experience if you're not going for pacifist. If you're going for pacifist, you need to be careful. Anyway, now that we've gone through there, there's going to be 2 paths. The bottom path will take you to the entrance of the keep, to which they'll tell you nobody allowed through here. Makes sense. The other one will take you to this building,
It won't fit.
which don't shove a fucking Castalia cake in there or a Koban. You want to use the storehouse key. This is the second storehouse. Now, this storehouse is interesting. First of all, let me save here. So, in here, there are, yes, there's 5 treasure chests, 2 pots. One of these has a Koban, which is the reason you have to go here, because I think there are only 4 Kobans you can get without any killing, and you need all 4 if you're going for pacifist. The other thing you'll find here are 3 little spirit flames, each of which is a lost soul. Lost souls are kind of your best way to gain experience early on. They don't do much damage at all, they're fairly easy to take down, and most importantly, they do not count as kills. It is probably literally impossible to finish a run without killing any lost souls if you're going for pacifist. I'd recommend killing enough to get a Boro up to probably level 5 or 6. Maybe, definitely going to want to take a bit here. Be careful of that woman in the top left. If you talk to her, she turns out to be a spirit. However, I think she does count as a kill, so you need to be careful. When you level up for the first time, you get Water Spout, and that's very good because Water Spout is pretty much guaranteed to take down the enemy, which makes grinding much, much easier. So I'm going to spend a few minutes here fighting the various lost souls. And in the meantime, I'm going to discuss some various things you're going to want to do if you're not going for pacifist. So if you're not going for pacifist, you want to kill a good amount of enemies you come across, but you're going to want to be careful. You're going to want to leave a good few left. Like, you're pretty much only going to want to kill, like, weaker ones early on, because A, the stronger ones have a good chance of killing you, and I don't know if you've realized this, but, dying is a pretty easy way to, get caught, if that makes any sense. So you want to be a bit careful of that. Other than that, though, yeah, you pretty much just want to go to the spot I am now. You may or may not want to kill some lost souls if you've been being very stingy with your enemy killing. Otherwise, you're going to want to wait for the next step I'm going to show off here. And luckily, yeah, these lost soul fights are very, very easy. But these are, I believe there's only, like, 2 other enemy types in this chapter that aren't, like, bosses that don't count as kills. Because here's the thing, things that are mid-bosses, like, we'll get to the mid-bosses later, the mid-bosses do not count as kills. However, if you fight one mid-boss, you're going to be locked out of the pacifist run for good for different reasons. One of the other mid-bosses you can literally completely ignore on any path. Like, fighting that boss is literally completely optional. And after that, there's only 2 more mid-bosses. One of which is essentially one you fight when you're literally already locked into the pacifist route. The other of which you're going to have to fight on any route because they're essentially required in order to get to the final boss. Like, no, they're not essentially required. They're literally required. They're in your way and you're forced to fight them. So don't worry too much about that. Again, just use this time. Grind lost souls. I think I'm going to get 2 more levels.
Be at peace.
But that's still going to be a lot of fighting here. But I think there's only going to be 2 more resets, and yeah, grind the shit out of the lost souls. I said that I think this in part inspired Undertale, but at the same time, I do not think this is where Undertale got all of its ideas. Because this is very, very bare bones. And honestly, the difference between a pacifist route and a 100 kill route essentially comes down to how strong a Boro is, how you get the best weapon of the chapter, and how fucking long it takes. Because luckily, despite all this grinding, pacifism is probably debatably the fastest way to do this chapter. It's really not too long. Let's see, let me get 1 more kill here. Or 1 more level up here. And that should be good. So, man, I'm very happy that they made XP thresholds way more lenient. Essentially, the remake, from what I've gathered, the original did have a classic XP system. This one runs on more of a Suikoden-like system, where essentially how XP is calculated is related on enemy level and XP value, and then how it relates to your level. So every level up is 100 experience, but how much experience each enemy gives is going to vary a little bit based on which chapter you're fighting, which enemy you're fighting, and what level your character is. But yeah, like in the original, in order to get up to like level 7 or level 8, you'd need to kill dozens of these fuckers. In order to get up to the proper level in this, it's like 3 resets. Like literally we have 1 more to kill and then we're caught up. But keep this term in mind, again, these spirits respawn infinitely whenever you leave and go back in. So don't worry too much about exhausting them. Just do whatever you need to do to get to a level that you feel comfortable with. Alright, now we want to use Water Spout again. And nice, chapter's still going pretty good so far.
I take what
We're
is
level
given.
7, got Phantom
Nothing else.
Butterflies. That is going to be one of the most helpful skills for this chapter. I could fight the last 2 there, but I'm just going to move on. I'll go over all the skills we got when we get to our next real battle. which is going to be a bit. So yes, if you're playing this game normally, go in, get to that Koban. You're still going to want to get minimum of 4 Kobans. Unlike doing Pacifist, it's not mandatory, but it's going to make your life a hell of a lot easier. Now with the remaining time that's left... Not remaining time. Yeah, now you're going to want to head back up to the roofs. Be careful, because I think if you run into one of the mice, the shinobi will automatically spot you no matter where you are. There we go. Once you're around a corner from him, he won't see you anymore. So it's more of a minor, like, inconvenience more than anything else. Now that you're done with that, you're going to want to loop all the way around. You're going to want to avoid dropping down one more time. Dropping down is bad. Password's now origin. You're still going to want to keep the password in the back of your mind. But again, don't worry. You're never going to need it to not die. It's, again, just going to make your life much, much easier. Now that you're done all that, you're going to want to go back to the room where you got the storehouse key. Because this is something you could have done earlier. I just like doing all the storehouse stuff first. It makes things a bit more convenient for later on. And we're going to get to this room. This room is the most annoying one in the game. Not in the game, in the run. Maybe in the game. Because pretty much how this works is that this is kind of a huge linear ordeal. It's not that easy to get through. It's going to take a bit. And if you're going to be going for a pacifist, I'm pretty sure there's a Koban in this somewhere. So you're still going to want to do that. So first of all, you want to start off by flipping that switch. And that's going to show you what the switches do. The switches will reverse the turn of some of the gears, which is going to reverse the way in which some of the other gears turn. I'm going to skip the rest of that cutscene because you can understand how it works. Now that you've done that, you can cross over here. Grab yourself a hook and rope. From now on, every one of the castle keeps attics. They're going to have those 2 little pegs. You can put down the hook and rope to essentially fast travel between them. There's enough to put 1 down on every floor, and in general, you're going to want to wherever possible. But I think in this room, you're going to want to avoid it because there are treasures to get. In the meantime, though, you just kind of got to be careful. Make sure you're looking out for where all the conveyors go, and make sure you're leaving paths to get to each of the switches. For example, with that one, we switch that one, which gives us the ability to go through there, which will end up getting us another one. If you're not careful and you're not watching where you're going, you're going to end up falling down. If you fall down from any attic, you're going to wind up in the dungeon. And we are actually going to wind up in the dungeon at some point, but in general, it's not something you're going to want to do immediately, mainly because it's a pain in the ass to get back. However, if you're not doing pacifist, I may recommend going into the dungeon sooner rather than later. I'll explain why when we actually get to the dungeon. For now, though, we just want to take advantage of the switch we flipped to go back here. We can flip this switch. That switch reverses the direction one of those gears turn. Now that we've done that, we go over here. Cross past both of these. Grab this chest, which will give us another hook and rope set, which is good. In the meantime, now we're going to be reversing more of the directions of gears. In general, this part of the chapter is just kind of a pain. But it's not too bad, and again, you don't need to do this. This is only for if you want some extra items. Yeah, what you do now is, now that you flip the direction of this gear, you can either skip some steps by putting down a hook and rope set, which you may want to do. But for now, you turn that one, which will reverse the direction of one of those gears. Which means you can now go back and you can either progress or you can get this last item. I'm 90% sure this last item is just a Castalia cake, but depending on how good or bad you are at the game, you may still want to do this regardless. Oh no, it's a Fujin scroll. That's pretty good. Could be worse. That's going to be better if you're going for some of the super bosses, but it can still be helpful for some of the mandatory bosses. And then when you're done with all that, you can just head back here. Really not too hard, just a bit of a pain. Now they've done all that, we move on to the next room. Now that we're down there, we have actually entered the castle keep proper. In order to continue, first of all, let's explore the second floor here a little bit, because there's a few fun little things we can grab. In general, though, you're gonna want to be careful. First of all, we want to pick up the extra Kanasada. I want to pick up the Ode Shuriken. Do not talk to anybody else. Pick up the Shrimp Rice Ball, and pick up the Koban. I believe that's our third Koban. That's good. That means at this point, once you have 3 Kobans on every route, one of our next stops should be the dungeon. But first, you want to avoid going into that room. That room is how you face one of the optional bosses that you're gonna want to fight if you're not doing a pacifist run. But in general, I don't know if she counts as a kill or not, but either way, you know, no real reason to, so why should we? Now that we're done with all that, let's go to our equipment. Equip the Top Knot and the Genji Tabby we got, that's wonderful. And we can move on to the next attic. This attic's gimmick is trapdoors. These trapdoors will open rhythmically, you just want to wait around, wait for them to open, and then cross over while they're in their reset state. Fuck up, you just go down into the dungeon, which again, not that bad. Going into the dungeon is not the end of the world. It's just going to mean you're going to need to break your way out. The Shinobi Wrist Guard, I believe that should be a slight upgrade over what we're currently using. If you want to skip all of the trapdoors, you can use a hook and knot set, but in this case, I would not recommend it, because, as you can see, there are items here. The Fuma Shuriken, that can be helpful for one of the bosses later on. And I believe this top one has an Izanagi Scroll, and if it's an Izanagi Scroll, you're really going to want to grab it. Izanagi Scroll is probably the single best item on any route. It's an Enma Charm. That one's not too bad either, but I would have rather had an Izanagi Scroll. But now that we're done with all that, I'm just going to set up a hook and rope set so I can work my way over here faster.
I could type.
By the way, do not walk off. You want to interact with it, because you can walk off, and if you walk off, you're going straight to the dungeon. But for now, we're making it down there. We've now made our way to the third floor. And the third floor has a few things you can do. First of all, you can break out over here, which will take you over here. That's a mid-boss there you can fight. Other than that, though, I can't remember if either of these boxes are traps. I feel like these boxes are traps, but I think I may have skipped these in my practice run. An Enma Charm, and a Fujin Scroll. Okay, we're still fine. In the meantime, though, you're going to want to be careful to not go over there. I believe getting over there and interacting with that woman will get you into a mandatory fight you can't flee from. In the meantime, what other things are there to grab? Yeah, there's a Sleeping Ronin. You can wake him up and kill him if you want the XP. Other than that, though, let's see. We can go down to there, or we can go to the next ceiling area. I think we should do that. So this is the other one. I think each of those sets are enemies you can fight. I don't think they count as kills, but I'd rather not find out. So once again, you can set up a hook and rope set. I don't think there are any enemies or any items you miss by doing this. So you can just take this opportunity to go down there. Now that we've done that and we've gone down there, we've made it to this room. This room is where our first mid-boss is, but we're not ready for that yet.
There's the bell.
So password's changed to Origin. So I'd recommend once you've made it to this point, it's time to go to the dungeon, if you haven't already. Let's just drop down. And note this animation for later. You're going to want to keep in mind the areas where this animation plays, because you're going to want to start avoiding those at a certain point. It's locked. So at this point, you can break out if you have the dungeon key, because, like, it's just a key. However, what if we fool the guard? Can we even fool the guard when we have the dungeon key? Yeah, if you have the dungeon key, this doesn't trigger. If you fall down here before you have the dungeon key, the guard will know, like, haha, I'm not going to let you leave my goddamn sight. If you use this scroll, he will panic, wonder where you went, open the door to look for you, and then you can just walk out behind him. Probably should have done that earlier, but I like avoiding this area for now. So, on the first floor of the dungeon, you can open all these doors. This frees the European nobles. The European nobles don't do anything besides giving you items when you kill them. Here you have a merchant who you can give kobans, or you can give food to. No real need to do that. I don't think it does anything. Maybe he gives you a koban? If you open this up, what happens?
Good sir. Take this.
Yeah, you can give him things like the Castalia cakes.
Oh, thank you. Might you be so
I think not.
No fooling you.
Okay, well, I think you can run from this fight. If you can't, then oops, I fucked up. Yes, you can. Yeah, just flee from this fight. He doesn't do anything. I thought maybe he gave you a koban for one, but he's a merchant. Why would he give up his goods? So now, if you've been wondering about the orange location marker on the map and wondering where that goes, that leads you to the dungeon and here.
Oh, there he is! The man I've been waiting for! Oh, you've come to rescue me, haven't you? Well then, what are you waiting for?
It's locked. Don't open this door. That man is a trap. Do you think they'd really be so stupid as to leave the target of someone who's going to be a necessary target directly next to where they're going to be throwing any infiltrators looking for him? Instead, you're going to want to go down here. As you can see, the real prisoner is over there on the left. However, if you are... There's also a chest in there, so you may think, hey, we should grab it. There's a chest there. No. Do not open that door and do not go in. That is what you should do if you're not doing a pacifist route. If you're doing a pacifist route, though, going in there and freeing the prisoner actually locks you out of the pacifist ending. Instead, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go and free this guy. Let me save up now just in case I fucked this up. I don't think I did. I think everything I've done so far is right.
Greetings and well met. Goemon is my name. Are you a goodly soul come to free
Yes,
me
I
from-
am.
You are too quick to call me friend.
You wish to fight me? Whatever for. Surely you jest.
Go in peace.
You have my most sincere gratitude. One day, I shall repay you for this act of kindness.
Those of you who don't know much about Japanese history and Japanese myth, Goemon is a legendary thief from around this time period. And as a legendary thief, essentially his entire thing was that he's kind of a Robin Hood-esque figure. He's the type who would take from the rich and give to the poor. I think he was died by being literally boiled alive. You know, typical happy stuff. But anyway, once you free him, you're good to go. Other than that, though, when you're done, you want to head out down here. This is going to take you to this area. You're going to want to avoid any of those guys and avoid this big shadow. That shadow is one of the 2 super bosses of Oboro's story. You're only going to want to fight that if you've got the prisoner as a party member, which you do if you go and free him there, or when you have the 3rd party member, which is the one you need 4 kobans for. Other than that, at this area, you have the Path of Shuttered Lanterns. Do not change your mind.
There's the bell.
This is gonna sound stupid, but I want to stress this to the most of my abilities. Do not turn around in here. If you turn around at the wrong time, you get locked into fighting a super boss. That super boss is the hardest enemy in Oboro's chapter, even harder than the final boss, but beating him essentially gives you a weapon that's just as strong as the pacifist weapon. So only do that if you're going for a non-pacifist route. Or you can also do it if you're going for a pacifist route, but you're going to be grinding up a Boro for fucking ever. Anyway, when you're done, just head back here. Meaning we are sadly going to have to go back to this room. But luckily... Shit, I didn't pick up the extra hook and rope, did I?
I could tie a rope.
Yeah, I didn't get any extra hook and rope. Oh well. And just to make sure, I do have 3 Koban right now. I didn't fuck this up. I have 3 Koban. Wonderful. Because at this point, you're going to want to go back through here. Fairly simple, since you already took care of all the hard puzzling stuff before. And yes, now that you're back here, you're going to want to make your way back through the first keep, or the first floor of the keep. Mainly, you're going to want to go back here. And which way was it? Oh, fuck, I forgot which way to go here. Yeah, this way. You'll notice that this pod is back. And interacting with it gets you a new Koban.
There's something written here.
Never fear, Goemon's here. Goemon, I believe, restocks every chest that has Kobans in it. Plus, I think he may also restock certain other chests under certain requirements, or they may have gotten rid of that in the remake, I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, once you get that item, now that you have all 4 Kobans, you're going to want to go back to the room I told you about before, which luckily is not that hard, considering you can just make your way through here. Now that you're done with that, you're going to want to take the same path as before. That's not the same path as before. What was the same path as before? That was up the stairs. That's right. Like I said, it's very easy to get lost in this chapter. I only know what to do here because I did it super fucking recently. Anyway, ah dear. If you go here by mistake, you're going to want to remember the password. I believe right now it's River. And I think that guy will ask you every time you go there, so be careful. In the meantime, though, just sneak back through here. If you haven't noticed yet, you can tell which doors are ones you can sneak through by looking for the little pattern on the bottom of the door. And head back up here. And now that you've done all that, crawl your way across here. And go down here. And we're back at this room. You're back at this room. It's time to save.
Why, hello there. My. You're quite a ways from home.
Yeah, how can you tell?
Oh, you must be tired after such a long journey. Won't you stop and have a cup of tea with me? Come now, come now. Have a seat on that cushion there and relax.
If you sit on that cushion, you will be sent back to the dungeon. There will be no other negative impact.
Wait. There's no need to hurry off. Your tea will be ready in but a moment. So sit down.
No, I'm good.
Well. Looks like there's no fooling you, is there? So right threw me in my little trap, didn't you? Yes. There. I've gone and disabled it. You may rest easy in the knowledge you will not fall to your doom.
He is still lying. There is no tea.
Go on, sit yourself down.
In the meantime, at this point, I'd highly recommend saving. I'm also going to make a second save slot in case I have enough time later on that I can show off some of the gimmicks of a more murder-heavy route. Make sure your equipment is as good as it's going to get.
matter? Don't you trust me?
Not one bit.
My, there really is no fooling you, is there? You've well and truly seen through my rules. So it goes. Anyway, your tea's ready. Do tell me, though, and be honest. Have you enjoyed playing with my many puppets and contraptions? They're not all traps, you know. Take this beautifully crafted body of mine, for instance. A work to rival God's own, if I do say so myself!
So this is the main sub-boss you're going to be doing on every single route. Going to be Puppet Master Ganai and his 6 electrodes. So before I move on, let me just say, I really hope you were doing some grinding if you are doing a pacifist, and B, let's take a look at Oboro's moves really fast. He has a slashing move that hits in a direction around him. He has an AoE slash move that does slightly less damage. He has a move called Firefall's Wake, which is a 5x5 AoE centered on him, which sets down fire floors. Water Spouts is a ranged attack, which will be able to do some pretty decent damage to these dudes. Poison Mist puts down, it doesn't put down a poison floor, it just has a chance to poison enemies. Firefall is a very high damage AoE fire attack. Shuriken Barrage is a move that hits on a diagonal and does good damage. Phantom Butterflies is an AoE move that hits on a diagonal, has a chance to sleep or to poison, is generally going to be one of your best moves. As you can see, Genai here has about 360 health, and we're going to want to take him down, but first of all, we're going to want to put some effort into taking down these dudes. They can be quite threatening. Wonderful, that's the best one for us to hit there. Because these guys have counters that hit on diagonals, so you're going to want to minimize the amount of diagonals you're on from these dudes. Let me actually just move there. Hit here. God damn it, most of them moved, but I should still be able to take down at least 2 here. Okay, I'm going to get countered by one of them, and I'm going to be hit by the other 2. Oh yeah, here's one of the things too, you don't want to be next to them when they get done attacking, or when you attack them, because they can counter by just fucking exploding, and if they do that, Oboro is left with almost no HP, and he's pretty much destined to die. This fight is hard. You normally have a second party member by the time you're doing this, but if you're doing it pacifist, then you haven't yet. Anyway, here's the bad ending.
My lord, I bear ill news.
What? Our young shinobi killed. A pity. Perhaps I misjudged his potential. Alas, I fear our nation will not soon greet a new dawn.
Mission failed. Fail a mission, you just go back to your last save point. I'm going to give this fight one more honest try before I go back and get another level or 2 from the spirits. Because I've done this at level 7 before, and I'll be honest, the other fights in this chapter aren't really as hard. Especially because after this, spoiler alert, you're going to be getting another party member.
Not one bit.
So not one bit.
My.
And in the meantime, let's go back here. Go down one, use Phantom Butterflies on this group of enemies. Okay, one of them will be able to counter me. Oh no, I guess none of them counter me. Okay. That's right, it's just their normal attack that does it. Okay, I'll get my turn before the other one. Means I can move there. And, okay, one of them is going to be able to counter, but that's fine. Because I don't think I'm on the direct diagonal from Genai. And we took out the one that can actually counter me. Yeah, just going to need to worry about electrical discharge. Other than that, keep your distance from Genai. Normal boss rules apply. Stay away from the pure diagonals. And from this point on, you may want to use Shuriken Barrage.
I never missed.
Take your time.
I am going to use a Shrimp Rice Ball here. I want to use that or the Castelia King. I want to use the Shrimp Rice Ball. I want to have better stats for fighting this guy, because Genai could still easily kill you even without his ads. Yeah, stay away from direct diagonals, stay away from pure horizontals for the most part, but I think we should be fine here. Hit him with Shuriken Barrage. That'll deal about a third of his HP. You can also use things like the Enma Charm, or the Fujin Scroll, or the Fuma Shuriken, or the Ode Shuriken. But for the most part, once you have Shuriken Barrage, you're going to be doing most of your damage with that.
I never miss.
It's been a while since I've had to rack my brain like this! I dare say you've inspired me!
Ow. There we go. This should be it unless I get unlucky. Okay, not really unlucky, but still unlucky. And that's the fight. It just takes a little bit of forethought and planning. Not too bad.
Body of mine still raring to go.
Yeah, well, it sucks that your mind's still raring to go because you're not. If reading him, we get a little bit of XP, and the mainspring...
Dear God! My cogs won't stop spinning! Stop them before it's too late, please!
Sucks to be you. When you're done with that, you can go into the area that he was hiding before to reach this room. Now, a couple notes before progressing. First of all, save. You've just beat a difficult boss, and it is still possible to fuck this up. So first of all, if you want to go to the end of the fight, you can literally just go around there.
There's the bell.
You can go through here, and that'll take you to where you're supposed to be. I forgot what's down there. I don't want to check, because they'll probably get me in trouble. Additionally, stepping on that cushion will open up a trapdoor, taking you down to the dungeon. Finally, there's this slot here.
There's a small slot here.
Put in a Koban, nothing happens.
Should I oblige?
Put in a second Koban, nothing happens.
Should I oblige?
Finally, if you put in a third Koban, then something shifts. Going down to the room you were in before reveals a brand new room with a little doll in it. There's a small opening for what? Some manner of component, perhaps. Well, we did just get a mainspring from him. Well, do you remember how in the prologue he was mentioning some special mechanic that was going to be able to replicate the prisoner? That's this. This is the Mimic Mammoth, or as it was called in the original fan translation, the O-Robo, which is the best fucking name, and I'm going to continue calling it the O-Robo. O-Robo is weak as hell, and has pretty much just the same stats that Boro had at the start, but better. You take him down in a couple hits.
Be at peace.
But by doing so...
Is this thing following me?
it joins your party. Now, if you're doing a pacifist run, this will mean nothing to you. You are going to lose Orobo really quickly. However, Orobo shares Oboro's exact moveset as it levels up. Additionally, yeah, there are no mechanical components. He levels up normally. And he starts off with the same skills you started off as, and will get the same ones Oboro gets as he levels. He is insanely helpful. However, there are two things you need to know about Orobo, and how not to lose him. If you fall down any amount of height, aka any one of those cutscenes where you see Oboro falling down, Orobo, being nothing more than a little doll, will shatter and break and will not be able to rejoin your party. Additionally, if you encounter a mouse, he will flip his shit in fear. There's probably a joke in there about that doesn't translate well into English, but if you run into a rat, Oboro will self-destruct, and you will lose Orobo. So pretty much, other than that, you have a free copy of Oboro, and he is insanely good. If we look at stats here, you see he's got ungodly good physical defense and physical attack, and like it's just kind of like gonna have like less chance of status effects. You're still gonna be doing damn good. Orobo's a really good party member, and if you're gonna be doing end of game wrap up stuff, now is the time to do it. Other than that, though, let's leave. And if you're wondering why I said get 4 Koban instead of just 3, this is why. If you go to leave the room, you'll see the door doesn't work. That means that the only way out for right now is to step on the pillow there that takes you all the way down to the dungeon. However, that will mean Orobo breaks. So what you need to do
Should I oblige?
is you need to give the wall one more Koban, and that unlocks the door. So now that you're done with that, it's time to progress onto what's essentially the start of the finale. We're almost done with this chapter already. So, let's go. By going up here, you come across a group of monks. You also come across a mouse. Means, like I mentioned, when he comes across a mouse, Oboro panics and self-destructs, both removing him permanently from your party no matter the route, and breaking him.
Looks like it's broken.
When you're done with that, you're going to want to go into the next room. And I would just like to stress right now that if you have any party member in your party besides Oboro at this exact point, you will not be getting the pacifist ending. You'll instead just be getting a normal ending. So, let's run in.
It's him.
Impressive. You've done well for yourself. Though we are enemies, I must applaud your tenacity.
Yo, Ode, can you speak up? I can't fucking hear you.
Indeed, you are the first to have made it this far. In doing so, you have helped me unmask many cowards in my ranks, for which I am grateful. Yet you found yourself in quite the predicament now, surrounded by my elite guard, the cream of the Ode clan, and to make matters worse, my flintlock aimed at your heart.
Get down!
Who in blazes are you?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the party member you would have got had you gone to save the prisoner. Instead, joining you now.
That was too close. Skilled as you are, you're no match for a bullet. I took my time to line up that last shot, but who knows who I'll hit next? Anyone care to find out?
Part of me wishes I didn't do the pacifist route, because the prisoner is a total Chad, and I love him.
You'll pay for this!
Did you honestly think I'll let you keep me locked up in your dungeon forever?
And did you think that I, the great Odeio, would be cornered so easily? What fools you are! I call upon the spirit of Miyamoto Musashi! You will die by the hand of the greatest swordsman the world has ever known!
So anyway, speaking of Baki, the worst Baki arc. Anyway, I would recommend saving again. You still have the ability to... I think you can still leave. Yeah, you can still leave. But in order to progress, you are going to have to take on the ghost of Miyamoto Musashi.
Beyond repair.
And in general, it's still just something you're going to want to do.
You are a shinobi. Long did I hope to cross blades with a worthy opponent once more. Mayhap your death will free me from my bondage.
So this is the ghost of Miyamoto Musashi. Normal live alive mid-boss rules apply. Keep your distance, spam your good moves, don't worry about using any of your elemental moves, just bombard this dude with Shuriken Barrage.
I have you.
Other than that, stay out of the pure diagonals. And let's go over the prisoner's move. The prisoner has 3 moves. Wolf's Fang, which is a projectile attack, which has a chance of lowering evasion and accuracy. Warning Shot, a move that has the ability to bind a leg and will possibly turn the enemy around, meaning they'll have to use part of their gauge to turn back to face you. And North Star, a very powerful slash move. In general, yeah, this fight isn't too bad. You just want to keep your distance, take advantage of Wolf's Fang, stay out of the pure diagonals, and just be good.
This is a most powerful art.
The Ghost of Miyamoto Musashi may be powerful, but there's nothing that a samurai of this type can do about the wonders of modern weaponry.
I have you.
That's gonna hurt, but the prisoner should be fine. Renunciation of Self hurts a lot, but it's not a guaranteed kill. One more Wolf's Fang, one more Shuriken Barrage, and this guy should be taken down nice and simply.
It was a mighty duel.
And with that, only technically 2 more fights await us. Let's go and take on Odeio.
Impressive. Never had I known defeat until now. Shinobi of the Enma, I will remember your name.
Then when you're done with that, you can head through the same scroll Odeio did. Now, something that you should do that I forgot to do is equip all of your secondary gear onto the prisoner. Again, you want Oboro to stick with the most powerful items. Other than that, everything else can go to the prisoner. Finally...
Oh, no, you don't! I will not let you harm Lord Ode.
Never mind, there were actually 2 more fights. I was thinking that there was a... I thought this fight was optional. Anyway, here you have Yodogimi and Candle Stands. Candle Stands will hit anything in a, like, little, just normal, typical octodirectional around them when hit. So you're gonna want to avoid hitting too many strong AoEs. Other than that, something, something, something. Typical Alive mid-boss rules apply. Stay away from your diagonals. Just do whatever you gotta do. And she's actually weak to wind, which is unfortunate. Because that does mean we're going to be able to take advantage of phantom butterflies. Yeah, you fucked up. Oh, I love Oboro.
What have you done to me?
And there we go, we got level 8 for
Take what is
Oboro.
given, nothing else.
And we learned Dust Veil. That's fine, we got Doton.
Lord Ode!
And well...
Please wait! I wanted to repay you for helping me earlier. Please accept this gift.
So you want to accept this gift. However, I think she either A, only spawns if you haven't killed any female enemies outside of the boss just then, or B, she does spawn and you're gonna want to just not accept, because I think she just slaps you for killing people. What? Accept it. For that, you get the Maid's Sash.
Good luck.
Maid's Sash is an accessory. It raises your defense by 1. It's not incredible, but it's a mark of honor. Good job, you did it. But now we stand face to face with Odeio, the final boss of the chapter.
You again. That you continue to trouble me can only mean one thing. You must have defeated the great Musashi. Filthy rats, creeping about my castle uninvited. It seems I'll have to deal with you myself. Do not underestimate me. For I, Lord Odeio, will not be brought low by vermin like you!
Alright, so this is the fight against Odeio. Odeio's a little bit trickier than a lot of the other enemies you fought so far, but that's for the sole fact that he's very small. Which means that you're gonna have a harder time avoiding pure diagonals while still dealing good damage.
Let's get on with it.
I'd recommend not worrying about too much and essentially just taking the time to spam Wolf's Fang, Shuriken Barrage, and deal as much damage as you can.
How long will you keep up?
Most of Ode's strongest attacks come in melee range, so you're just gonna want to attack from a range. How much damage does Phantom Butterflies do to him?
Trust in the phantasms.
That does about the same as Shuriken Barrage, okay. Oh, and you put to sleep. That's very fun. Because now I can have the stranger go behind you. Let's go for a North Star.
The things we do.
Do a good amount of damage. Yeah, you're gonna have to live this one, prisoner, but you'll be fine. Oh no, you're taking a nap. That's not awful. I hope you enjoy your sleep. With that, we just gotta survive one last turn. Finish him off with Shuriken Barrage. And that's Odeio.
This can't be happening. You amuse me. This small chamber ill suits our struggle. Wouldn't you agree? To the roof, then, where we may face one another beneath a starlit sky. I'll be waiting.
Well, let's go and follow him. At this point, walk through the door here, begin the final battle.
At long last! Up here, you two! Mark well this moment as I, Odeio, unveil to you the noble visage of he who will rule Japan forevermore! Ah! Mine! All is...
And so begins our final battle against the transformed Odeio. In the form of the Kama Heavy. So this fight is not too bad, all things considered. For a Boro, you're mainly going to want to stick with Phantom Butterflies because he resists most forms of physical damage. So you're just going to want to rail into him with Phantom Butterfly. And in the meantime... Oh, that's a pure diagonal. In the meantime, with the prisoner, you're going to want to mainly stick with a Warning Shot. That's going to turn him around, and a lot of his attacks don't hit directly to his side. In the meantime, though, you're going to want to make sure you don't stay too close to him. I'm cutting it really close right now, and I probably shouldn't. Oh, perfect. Put him to sleep. That means we can continue. Let's go for a Warning Shot. Hit him with another Phantom Butterfly. Hit him with another Warning Shot. And in general, that's how this fight goes. It's really not that hard. I'll be honest, if you've made it this far on a pacifist run, you can beat Gamma Heavy. Genuinely, the hardest fight in the chapter is the Puppeteer. If you can get this far, you've already won. Especially if you can get lucky with your turnarounds. That's not lucky with the turnaround. That's actually pretty unlucky. Alright, luckily he just used his regen move. That's not too bad. Phantom Butterfly almost finishes him off. You know what? Considering everything he went through, I think it's only fair to let the prisoner get the kill.
The things we did.
And that is the end of the Edo.
Good riddance. This land deserves better than a twisted tyrant who cares only for himself, let alone one who forsake his very humanity in the pursuit of power. Shinobi, you've proven yourself a man of honor and mercy. And so I have a request. I have made many enemies in my life, and I've learned that it's often better to stay your hand than to fight, for a blade unsheathed must draw blood. Thus is the cycle of violence and vengeance renewed. But not this day, for you did not kill without cause. Therefore I bid you, take this sword.
With that, get the reward
I can
for
think
the
of none
pacifist
more
run.
worthy to wield such a weapon. In truth, I'm glad to be rid of it.
We get the Mutsu Kami.
I knew they'd arrive with a bang, though firing the cannons was a bit much. What's that? Who am I, you ask? I could have sworn I'd already told you. I'm Ryoma. Sakamoto Ryoma. And out there, on that great black ship, are my comrades in arms. I'll tell you, some days I wonder whether this country will ever enjoy peace again. We fight and squabble for such petty reasons. In the end, no matter who seizes power, people being people will continue to kill one another. Man's most singular, enduring trait is his capacity for hate. I dare say that will always be the case. Nevertheless, I still believe it possible for us to overcome our nature and change this tired state of affairs. For I have faith in Japan's future. I've been thinking. Seems a waste for a man of your talents to remain a mere shinobi. Might you consider joining me in my labors to serve the Heavenly Sun? It would be an honor to have you.
It would be an honor to serve.
You will. Splendid. Then tonight you shall enjoy a celebratory feast aboard our ship. The sun rises. Someday it shall rise over a Japan free of strife and conflict. Have faith, my friend, for I feel that day is near.
And that is the end of the Bakumatsu chapter. For those who don't know, and I'm gonna probably also fuck this up a bit, but Ryoma Sakamoto is a kind of legendary figure in Japanese history. He was one of the men who was pretty much directly responsible for what would later become the Meiji Restoration, which would eventually lead to the birth of modern Japan. It's really safe to say that he is one of the core people who probably is responsible for how Japan turned out. So, if we never came here to rescue him and Ode Io had his way, Japan probably wouldn't have lasted much longer. Oh fuck, that was loud. My bad. But now here you can kind of see some stuff that didn't happen. That's what would happen if you went to rescue Ryoma. Is you would end up having to fight Amakusa Shiro. And yeah, you just kind of have to go through all that stuff. Really, we did most of what was left. You do most of the things as pacifist. It's still the route that is by far the shortest, but there's still a good amount of content. There's the Another mid-boss we would have fought if we didn't do the pacifist route. Like, there's just a lot of those. Alright, I'm just checking a few things. Hope everyone's having a good day. I still love this recap of events where, like, only about half of them happened. Like, this is just Oboro... like, this is just Ryoma self-inserting himself into Oboro's story. But, oh god, I adore this game so much. Like, it may not have been obvious there considering I went through it pretty quickly, but you can easily spend more time on, yeah, you can easily spend more time on Oboro's campaign than you can on any other. Because it's so well done, and it's so non-linear.
That's a shinobi of the Emma clan. Succeeded in rescuing Sakamoto Ryoma from Ode Castle.
And, like, again, there are so many things they didn't show off. There are 2 separate super bosses. There are so many fun little gags. There are so many unique enemy types that you pretty much only have a chance to fight if you start with, like, one of 2 specific characters in the final story, or if you're doing this chapter. There's so many good gags. There's so many bits of story we didn't see. It's so deep and expansive, and there's so much to do. And I think doing it pacifist, despite being one of the most enjoyable, is also the one that does the chapter the biggest disservice. So I'd really recommend, like, picking this game up just to do this. It's genuinely super fun. But, without further ado, we have one final chapter. The distant future. Far from Earth, a vast void of space, the transport freighter Kogito Ergo Sum slowly makes its way home. Aboard this tiny vessel, a new form of life is born. Alas, as a series of incidents put the safety and well-being of the ship's crew in jeopardy, this autonomous support unit, but recently built by the engineer Kato, must work together with its creators to ensure that all is not lost. Let's begin. Space Dock TSQ-5. Record of departure. Registration: Kogito Ergo Sum. Class: Civilian Transport Freighter. Destination: Earth. Cargo: Xenobiological Specimen. Crew: 5. Passengers: 1. A military courier. So there's a good reason I saved this for last. So if you're a fan of JRPG gameplay, be it some of the stuff you saw me doing before, or the combat, this is going to be a bit of a weird one. Because this chapter is very talking heavy. In fact, there is only a single mandatory battle in the entire chapter. And every other battle is hidden. I mean, not really hidden, more so just optional. This is one of my favorite ones by far. This is genuinely, if they marketed this and released it on Steam for $5, it would become a cult classic immediately. It is insanely good. But anyway, let's discuss the cargo. Primary cargo, as discussed, was the xenobiological specimen. A description: giant quadruped. Native habitat unknown. Capabilities unknown. Orders from Command concerning specimen are as follows. Detailed study of specimen is of highest priority. All necessary measures should be taken to ensure delivery. Escort is mandated. Welcome to the distant future for the mechanical heart.
Okay. That should do it. Huh? That's odd. Very odd indeed. I'm certain I did everything right. Huh? It worked! It worked! Brilliant! Wonderful! Hello there, little one. Can you hear me? My name is Kato. K-A-T-O. Kato. It's a pleasure to meet you. Right, of course. You need a name. Let's see. Well, you're quite round. Roundy? That's terrible. Hardly fit for a dog. Yes, well, you may be round, but mankind's strength is our sense of humor. Cube! That's impressively worse. Naming was never my forte.
Leaked footage of me naming Pokemon in my Nuzlocke.
Perhaps inspiration
Shout
will
out to
strike as we
my
walk.
favorite Pokemon names in my Nuzlocke. Like, bear, fish, cat. I'm so fucking creative.
Come along, little one.
So, I'm going to take this opportunity to save. And if you were playing this chapter for the first time, I would strongly recommend this one more than ever, turning off the in-game radar. I'm going to keep it on because I still get lost easily. But a lot is added to this chapter if you don't know where you're going. But you may notice, outside of an empty inventory, we don't have any abilities, don't have any equipment, and we can't manipulate our party. Cube is alone. Well, he's not alone, but, you know.
Good, good. Follow me. The first thing we need to do is register you as a crew member. Otherwise, you won't be free to move about the ship. Right then. Yes.
Greetings, Kato. I hope this morning finds you well.
Top of the morning to you too. I'd like to enter a new crew member into the system.
Understood. Scanning new crewmate. Scan complete. Classification: autonomous support. Please take designation. So, you now get to name Cube. And while you can rename Cube, I would highly recommend that you keep the name short, for reasons you'll see later. In fact, you may want to just name this motherfucker C. You'll see why later. Creating profile.
And with that, you should be able to come and go as you like. Oh, and whatever you do, don't forget your name. Access to private quarters is subject to some perfunctory security restrictions. To enter, you may need to input
That's
your
why.
name.
That's
So,
not a
if you're
joke.
ever having trouble, that's one
You
thing
will
can
literally
try.
have to do that.
To do so, access the panel to the left of a door. Do you understand? Or would you like me to repeat myself?
Oh, I understand.
Then the next order of business, little one, is a test of your analytical skills. I'm going to leave this room and head to another area on this floor. I want you to try and find me.
Oh, and if you're ever feeling lost, take a moment to review the ship's map. This is the best addition to this game, or to this chapter in the remake. By hitting select, you can see a granted very clunky, but still a map. That's going to be useful for later. So as you can see, the Kogito Ergo Sum has 3 floors. The first floor containing the cargo hold and the airlock. The second floor containing crew rooms, the medical bay, the interface room, and the rec room. And the third floor has the main computer room, the private storage room, and the bridge. That's pretty much just what you're going to need to remember. You can kind of suss out the rest as you go. So let's take advantage of our nice built-in analytical functions. Track down Kato.
Good. You made it. Now it's time for you to meet your fellow crew members. Through this door, you'll find the cryogenic stasis pods. We use them to put humans into cold sleep to preserve resources during long trips into space. Little one, I have a very important job for you. I want you to head inside and wake up your new friends. You can do it.
Cryogenic stasis unit hums softly. Information concerning the registered occupant is displayed on a nearby screen. Kirk Wells, the helmsman. Single button flashes on the console. You're definitely late. I mean, you just missed an entire chapter, but it's okay. It's the less interesting one. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Well, would you look at that? Cryogenic stasis unit hums softly. But to be fair, you didn't get many. You did get a lot of cavities, so you've been out of it. Yeah, God, that's fair. Information concerning the registered occupant is displayed on a nearby screen. Rachel Klein, the signaler. A single button flashes on the console. Damn it, I need to move before I talk. Huh? What is this? Cryogenic stasis unit hums softly. Information concerning the registered occupant is displayed on a nearby screen. Huey Trumbull, chief mate, and the head of cargo. Single button flashes on the console. I'm 3 for 3 on not moving. Finally, the cryogenic stasis unit hums softly. Information concerning the registered occupant is displayed on a nearby screen. The reserve unit. Single button flashes on the console. Gunvolt theories, and it seems like your theory was to why the second Copen game was so shit was right there, using that game as an excuse to find the kind of combat they wanted for the new character in the 3. Yeah, I gotta say, I did hear... My friend Roman's been playing through them because he's gonna be making a big ol' retrospective video on Gunvolt. Sorry, Roman, I leaked your new video. And he just sent me a message at like 1 in the morning one day saying, why is Luminous Avenger 2 so shit? And then like 20 minutes later, and why the fuck is there $30 of DLC?
I appreciate the help.
No problem, Space Dad.
Good morning, my friends.
Finished your pet project?
Indeed. They have even taken a name for themselves.
Hello, my name is Rachel. Looking forward to working with you.
Nice to meet you, buddy. Name's Kirk.
Rise and shine, Huey. We've been on ice long enough.
Show us what you've got. Mind giving Sleeping Beauty here a swift kick to get him up and moving?
I think we can, but first, there are a couple of ones we haven't checked yet. This one is Yoshiyuki Kato, our creator and the lead engineer of the ship. And down there, we can't get through to see it, but that one is the captain's, if you haven't been able to suss it out yet. But let's wake Huey up.
Kirk, you dingus. I'll thank you again for not kicking a blissfully sleeping man's pillow. I'm sure we had this conversation before. What is that thing?
Easy there, Huey. You're still coming out of cryo. As for the new addition, it's that bot Kato's been working on forever.
Huh? Oh, bot. Kato's bot. Right, that project of his. He got it up and running. Hello there. I'm Huey.
Corporal Darth, feeling well rested?
Hardly. If anyone actually feels better coming out of cryo, I've yet to meet them.
Guess what, Corporal? Kato finally finished the bot he was working on. Let's introduce you.
Never mind that. Let's dispense with the formalities. Tell me, though, do you intend to let your clank have the run of the
Whoa,
ship?
you can't just say that, Corporal.
If so, then I expect you to see that it does not get underfoot, and to discipline it if it does. If there is nothing else, then I will go on ahead to the recreation room and prepare for the briefing.
Corporal, that's a slur. Yeah, Darth kind of sucks if it's not immediately clear.
That's a military man for you. All business.
Real piece of work, huh?
Right, of course. The customary briefing after waking the crew. You should join us in the recreation room too. Don't worry about the corporal. He'll warm to you in due time.
Ha! It's as if you actually see it as one of us. But I suppose that's just your
Huey,
way.
I'm right fucking here, dude.
Oh. Do you think so?
Today, the part of Cube's inner thoughts will be played by Midnight Wanderer. Who wouldn't warm to this absolute mascot character? I mean, look at him, though! Look at Cube! He's such a fucking lovable skrunklo! Look at him! He's got little cool, like, wing gadgets! He's got fucking sneakers on! He's got a backwards baseball cap that's the opposite color of his creators, Kato. I see what you did there. Cube is character design perfection, and I will not accept any Egg Robo slander. And this final one is for Hor Bishop, ship's captain, for the transport freighter, Kokito Ergo Sum. You know, if this game were made in 2022, it would be called the fucking Hello World or some shit. You know what, the Corporal hates me isn't actually a Cube despite his name. I mean, okay, you actually did miss this, but that was literally the entire point, was Kato's like, oh fuck, I forgot to think of a name. What if I named you Roundy? No, that sucks. And then he literally says, no, never mind, humans are good with irony. Cube, what if I called you Cube? That's literally the joke. No sign of the captain. He's usually such a stickler for punctuality. Yeah, General's refusing to talk to us. How about you two? Kirk is really good at this game.
This retro game is my latest obsession. I love it.
Kirk, you've made more progress in a shorter period of time than any other player to date. Your skill... Oh no, that's the fucking... That's the mother computer. I thought that was Huey. No. Huey... Spoiler alert. Huey and Kirk don't get along too well. Your skill and dedication are impressive.
Damn straight. You want to give it a go?
Yeah, I'll give it a go. I'm a fucking gamer. Kato programmed me to be a gamer. So, I would like to present to you the only combat in this chapter, besides the final boss, is this entirely optional arcade game, Captain Square. I'm not going to do all of this, there's no reward for doing all of it, but I just kind of want to show it off, because I think it's kind of a neat idea. Where just to make sure you still get some RPG combat, you get to play this cool little mini-game. It's pretty rad. Captain Quark has a nice little selection of moves. There's 9 stage, 1 for each planet in the solar system. It's pretty nice. I'm just gonna leave. If you ever want to leave, you can just hit quit game. If you do feel the urge to play the game, I would recommend waiting a bit. Ironically, you get a new addition to the game when things start getting serious. Yeah, fuck you, Kirk. I'm doing a Let's Play here.
Let me give you some advice. You can't always be aggressive. Pay attention to your enemies and how their attacks work.
Fuck off, Kirk. You better have Supernova. You see, it's funny you say that, though. Because A, there is actually a Supernova-esque move in this game that we'll get into in the next stream. And B, I don't want to spoil it, but Cube may actually be the strongest party member in the game. But we'll get to that when we fight the final boss. In the meantime, how about you, Huey? What are you up to?
Hmm? Oh, you must be interested in my book. Would you like to read it?
Yes. Yeah, I'd like to read it. Oh my god, I missed that animation when I was doing my test run. Oh, that's fucking adorable! Huey literally lifts him up to put him on the chair. Aww. At the dawn of the space age.
It was written by humans long, long ago. I've always enjoyed these older stories. They have an earnestness, an adventurous spirit that speaks to me.
Says the guy who's practically terrified of his own shadow.
It must sound strange to you, seeing as how you were born on this ship, so to speak. I think you should learn as much as you can. Expand your horizons. Take a look around the ship and see if anything interests you. Don't just rely on humans to teach you, either. Experiment. Try to do things on your own.
Now, this is actually a cool little double thing, because A, this is a very adventure-based chapter. There aren't many really good cues, and a lot of it is based on wandering around. But that's kind of supplemented with the markers that show you where to go in the remake. But the markers don't show you everything. There are times where you're still going to have to figure out what to do even without it, and there's also a lot of cool hidden dialogue you can find by just wandering around. It's really cool. And unlike a lot of the other chapters, I'm actually going to be trying to show a bit of it off.
Kato, does this bot of yours have any unique abilities or talents?
Well, no, not as such. But they do have the capacity to process data and develop skills, such as... why don't I teach you how to prepare coffee?
Fuck yeah, let's get our robot addicted to coffee day one, baby!
Come with me, little one. I'll show you how to use the machine.
Just push the button. It's simple enough. Coffee machine sits atop the counter, expectant. Let's use it. God, I wish coffee machines were that easy to use in real life. There's only like 3 steps, but it's still 2 steps too many. Well, would you look at that? Would you mind if I had a taste? Yeah, it's coffee. A bit bitter for me. I'm sorry, it's the first cup. I hope you're ready for me to attempt to do accents this chapter, baby, because the remake gave them accents. No, you know what? Let's make another one. Let's make some coffee for Darth. Let's make some coffee for Darth. It's probably the best way to close the gap a bit. Actually, Kirk, maybe you'd like some coffee for your gaming. We all know coffee and gaming do go together. Cheers to that. Strong and bitter, just the way I like it. Let's give all of them the same accent, including the token female. Honestly, I would do that, but considering this chapter has a huge focus on, like, character and dialogue, I'd feel kind of guilty, and it would undercut a lot of the better moments of this chapter. Hey, Darth, you want some coffee?
Don't touch me!
Please, there's no need to get so upset.
You people have no idea what these things are capable of. But I do. I've seen it.
Darth, you do sound very racist right now.
I don't know about any of that, but I'm sure it's got nothing to do with this one.
Hey, it's the captain.
I apologize for keeping you all waiting. Matters with our contacts on Earth demanded my full attention. So, what is the status of our crew?
Everyone is present and accounted for, sir.
Good. Wait, what is that thing over there?
That would be the robot I've been working on, sir.
Fully operational, I see. You'll have to permit me a closer look later. Right then. Everything appears to be in order, so...
I may have to step out for a minute. There's some weird noises coming from downstairs, and I want to make sure everything's okay. Like, I think it may just be my dad taking care of some trash, but I want to make sure it's nothing else.
Spent most of the time gaming and waiting for it to begin and end just like that.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
Well, it is what it is.
The ghost of racism future.
Oh, Kato, if you want to get a look, come down to the cargo hold.
At the Behemoth? Of course! That'd be wonderful! Ah, but first I need to perform a brief inspection of the main computer. I'll head downstairs afterwards. Ah, you must be wondering. This is a transport freighter. And as usual, we've been tasked with making a delivery. Anyway, if you like, you can use the elevator to come and join me. The main computer is on level 3, and the cargo hold is on level 1.
Understood? But first, Darth, are you doing okay, bud? You want me to, Can we make friends? No, you're just gonna be a douchebag? Okay, I see how it be. You can go fuck yourself too, bud. That's fine as well. How are you doing, computer? Climate control system is operational. Well, I'd hope it would be. I really hope it would be. Ah, God, my eyes just kind of itch. Well, I'd say we should go in and check on Kato before we head on down to the cargo hold and check out that behemoth thing. So elevators are at either end of either floor, or either end of any floor. It's at the top or the bottom. It's good to know. On level 3 up at the top there is the bridge, but down here, we have the main computer. Yeah, with the main computer, how you doing?
I'm glad you came, little one. I'd like to introduce you to someone. Though this isn't the first time, I suppose.
It's a pleasure to meet you again, Cube. I am the artificial intelligence tasked with overseeing the various functions of the vessel.
A 10th generation AI, to be precise. We named them Decimus. Decimus doesn't just look after the ship's systems, though. They look after the crew as well. Now then, this module appears to be in working order.
Again, very glad it's in working order. I don't know why you'd need to specify that.
Time to visit the cargo hold. Would you like to come along?
Yeah, I would. Not really much else you can do at this point. You can talk to Rachel on the bridge. You can talk to Huey down in the airlock. Not Huey. You can talk to Kirk down in the airlock. Not really much else to do.
This is the priceless cargo we're transporting. Beautiful, don't you think?
It's Pikachu, indeed.
So long as you admire it from a distance, even the most exquisite rose handled without care will bleed you with its thorns. And this particular rose has 2 massive ones, in case you haven't noticed.
Hey, can you two come to the bridge?
Something wrong?
Got some comms trouble by the look of it. I could use a hand here.
Double time, Huey. Warp speed.
Look all you like. I don't care. But do remember that this is military property. My responsibility. And I do not take
Let's give a trace snail be fine. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, all I know is that there
We
are
were just
5
leaving,
very
actually.
treat-like things currently on this ship, nice and meaty.
Kato,
Good
there's a
muscle-to-meat
section of
ratio.
wiring just outside the
Couple of them
cargo
probably have a
hold
bit of
I
fat,
need
you
to
know.
check for me.
And
Understood.
a robot. There's also a robot there. He's great. His name is Cube. I don't know if you've met him. He's the best one.
You again.
Yes, it is me. I am in fact still on this ship where I was made.
I better not catch you fiddling with that console.
So let's head on over to the bridge. So the bridge, once more, is on the first... No, the bridge is on the 3rd floor, right? No, we're on the 1st floor. That's right. We started on the 3rd floor with the computer. We went to the 1st floor. That's right. Hi, keep in mind, my sense of direction will fail me, even with way markers. Because I have none of it. Sense of direction? Nah. That's for someone who needs to know where they're going at any given time. I think more along the lines of, like, Milkbone. Don't worry. It doesn't care. Main computer room. Entry is restricted when an authorized user is not present. Well, considering we're dealing with literally one, we're probably not going to be going back in there anytime soon. Maybe some dental threads in case it needs them. So is everything okay?
What did the captain have to say?
Continue your investigation and get back to me when you have more information. We'll settle on a plan then.
What did the captain...
Continue.
And you checked the sub-antennas?
I did, and they're fine. It's a Watanabe hypercaster, made in Japan and everything. The main and sub-units are designed to function independently, so one going down shouldn't necessarily affect the other.
So, I would just like to point out that there is a main and a sub, potentially one could call it a father and a child Watanabe unit, of which the primary one has unfortunately died. I fucking love this gag. It is so stupid. Great. Just peachy. Yeah, you said it yourself, Kirk. I can't put my finger on it. I've seen all kinds of problems before, but this one just seems different. But receiving inbound transmissions without issue, but outbound transmissions are another story.
Wait and see, huh? The whole system could fail before he's ready to take action.
What a horrible thought.
The system has already effectively failed, if we can only receive transmissions from Earth. As it stands, we can no longer exchange information with them. We can only hope they have surmised our situation from our silence.
Sounds like an excuse to do nothing. I'm heading outside to perform an on-site inspection of the array. Something probably came loose or got knocked out of position. Should be easy to fix once I get a good look at it.
There's no talking him out of it now, so we may as well try and back him up. Are you up for a spacewalk, Kato?
Yes, of course.
Rachel, I'll go with him to the airlock to assist with preparations. I'll come back afterwards so we can monitor from the bridge.
You know, I was shot by an old-timey gun.
So close to home. So close. The last thing we need right now is to spend time alone together. Just the two of us.
Yes? What is it?
Captain, sir, I wish to update you on the comms issue. Kirk and Kato are going to head outside and perform an on-site inspection of the array.
I see. Very good.
Captain? What's gotten into him?
Nothing suspicious about that one. And let's go down to the airlock and make sure those two are doing okay. Airlock is luckily right there. I'm gonna save before going in here. No particular reason.
Stop it!
Oh, well,
please.
looks like things were going just peachy while we were waiting.
This is neither the time nor place.
You and your holier-than-thou attitude. Stay out of it, Bod.
Hey, stop bullying Cube.
There you go again, losing your temper, hurting others.
Got it all figured out, huh? Your problem is you can't take a joke. Always so damn serious. You're exhausting. It's a miracle Rachel humored you as long as she did. We're leaving. Try not to get sucked out the hatch when we go. Be a real shame that...
Are you all right?
By the way, if anyone says Among Us for the remainder of this stream, I will be banning you, except I won't. But also just know that everyone has made the Among Us jokes already. Like, when fucking Vinny Vine saw us stream this chapter, the thumbnail was literally just the Mogus guy. Don't worry. Just fucking get him out of your system right now.
I'm sorry you had to see that. People are a bit more complicated than machines, don't you think?
I said get them out of your system. Don't, like, keep making them. But yeah, let's head back up to the bridge. Actually, hold on. I want to check this. Because there are 3 unique ways to game over in this chapter outside of losing to the final boss. Unless, did they get rid of one? Hold up, did they? Fucking... Oh, there we go. So if you press the first button on the console, then you press the second button on the console, you get sucked out into space. Okay, now you're allowed to make the crewmate has been ejected joke. Unfortunately, that means the imposters did win. Alas, Cube never had the opportunity to set foot on Earth. That is unique game over, 1 of 3. The other 2 are actually identical, so I hopefully won't be showing either of them. But, we'll see. We'll see. I just think that one is funny, because there's no point in the game you ever need to interact with that. That is literally just you becoming a victim of your own imagination. So yeah, let's go back to floor 3, check out the bridge. Hopefully everything's going okay. Get all 3 unique game covers, you get a free sundae from McDonald's. Is everything going okay, Rachel? Yeah, it seems like everything's going okay. Anything else going to hit the captain's quarters? Yeah, that's still working, whatever it is. How about you, Huey?
Rachel, they're in position.
Understood.
All right, let's get this show on the road.
Commencing operation. Kato, you need to access the administrator controls. Switch the system to maintenance mode.
Inputting code. Whiskey Alpha, Tango Alpha, November Alpha, Bravo. Kirk?
Kirk, do you copy?
Loud and clear. Everything's fine. Huh? I can't. Kirk? Kirk!
What's happening? Kirk? Kirk, respond! Someone talk to me!
I've got him, but there's something wrong with his suit. We're coming in.
That's not good.
I'll prep them at bay and meet them at the airlock.
I'm coming too.
I have it under control, Rachel. Don't worry. I'm sure Kirk is fine. He's as tough as they come.
Stop it! Just stop it! I need to be there for him.
Yeah, let's head down there and see if he's doing okay. Because as of right now, it seems like something's gone very wrong. I'm sure no one could have seen that coming from the hodgepodge of very functional humans here. Like Huey, who is definitely not engaged to Rachel, and Rachel, who is definitely not cheating on him with Kirk, and Kirk, who definitely doesn't fucking hate Huey's guts. Totally normal people on this ship. Nothing wrong here. A few hours ago, just not the flattening part. Or not the flatlining part.
Kirk! Don't leave me!
Where's the captain? Hey!
Ah, yes, right. I'll go and get him.
Let's go down there. Let's go and see if everything's going, you know, okay besides the obvious.
So, this accident was the result of a defective life support system. A preventable death caused by negligence.
You're wrong. I triple-checked the suits beforehand. Shouldn't have been possible for it to just up and fail like that.
Is that so? Then perhaps we must consider the possibility that it was not an accident, but the intended outcome. Was that an explosion?
I sure hope not. Where's the captain? Why isn't he here?
Well, I'm not quite sure. I tried repeatedly to contact him, but he wouldn't respond.
What's wrong with you people? What kind of ship are you
One
running
that's
here?
not supposed to be going through this shit.
Right now, we need to find out what that explosion was.
Then I will go and check on my cargo.
Look after Rachel, little one. She needs the company. Now more than ever. If something happens, you can find me on the bridge.
Alright, well, it looks like we have some various things to do. Huey's going to try going to the captain's room, Kato's going to the bridge, Darth is checking the cargo. Kirk's body lies motionless in the bed, devoid of life, and energy, possibility. Almost childlike in his vulnerability. His skin grows paler by the moment, as if color is desperate to flee the empty vessel. Yeah, nothing's gonna bring him back at this point. Well, let's start making the rounds. First, let's get re-disinfected. Not gonna lie, the captain's looking pretty sus. You are very correct about that. So I think that should be one of the things we should take care of. But first of all, I think there's something kind of important to do, which they mentioned we should go and check on Rachel. So we should probably try and figure out where Rachel is. First of all, let's see. Relaxation module, recreation room, okay. This one is the captain's room and Huey's room. Do not have access to these private quarters. Occupant Huey Trumbull, you don't have access to these private quarters, okay. Occupant Rachel Klein, entry to private quarters is subject to approval by Rachel. Proceed. Please input your name. Profile confirmed. Rachel has granted you access. Kirk, my love. I know you would never leave me. Tag in the blazon with a named Kirk Wells. Personal computer. A message is on screen. Hey Mom, I hope you're doing well. I'm planning on next time I visit, I was thinking of bringing. I met a guy. The unfinished, unsent message ends. Yeah, she must not be doing well right now. Local network message 1. Sender Kirk Wells. Hey, got time to talk? Meet me at the bridge at 13:30. Local network message 2. Sender Kirk Wells. Thanks for earlier. I'm glad you feel the same. Can't wait to get back to Earth and take that trip together. That's why she's so beaten up over all this. the meantime... Private quarters, occupant Kirk Wells. You don't have access to these private quarters. So let's leave Rachel to it. This can't really be easy for her. Meantime, let's head up to the bridge. Let's see if Huey and Kato have been able to figure anything out. Still don't have access to the mother computer. And we'll cheer her up. Hang out with Pikachu. Oh, what are you talking about? There's no way that's gonna happen. It's just a fun piece of set dressing and nothing else. Did you find anything out, Huey? I'm inspecting the comm system at the moment. Oh, good job. Kato?
Everything appears to be operating within normal parameters.
I don't understand. The main antenna, it's gone. Because of the explosion just now?
Now all external communications are cut off, huh?
Disaster after disaster. At this rate, I'd be better off climbing into an escape pod and trying for Earth.
You know, I like that plan. Let's go with that plan. Darth? Huey? Kato? Would anyone like some coffee? I feel like coffee would really help everyone's mental state right now. And it's the literal only thing I know how to do. Coffee? Thank you, but I don't need one. Huey? Maybe the coffee will help you think?
Oh, thank you. Right. Get yourself together.
Captain!
Sir, are you still in your quarters? Well, anyway, there's been an accident. And Kirk? I'm afraid Kirk is dead.
What? Really? That's most unfortunate. This situation merits an appropriate response. He will be dearly missed. See to the preparations. I will make sure to attend.
Wait, Captain!
Your captain is a man of remarkable composure. He remains calm and collected, even after being told one of his crew has died tragically.
It seems I have work to attend to.
I suppose I could go and look around in Kirk's quarters. See if he had any prized possessions. Something to put in the casket.
That's thoughtful of you. By all means, please.
Well, I'd say we should probably go and help Kato look for something in Kirk's room. May help us learn something more about him, after all. Maybe get some better idea of what happened. But first, there is actually a room I forgot to check earlier. I mean, actually, there's one I forgot to check and one I forgot to go into. This unit is reserved for charter guests. You don't have access to these private quarters. Yeah, so that's where Dart's private quarters are. Let's go back to Kato's for a second. Anything special in Kato's room? Mac title Support Unit version 3 is displayed. A holographic photograph with a smiling elderly couple standing next to a young boy holding a toy spaceship. A small toy robot, a mint-condition vintage Steel's Titan figure. That is like one of the only times you will see a direct reference between two stories, and I just think that's neat. Anyway, let's head into Kirk's room. But first, we've got to input our name. The register occupant, Kirk, has regrettably passed away. To facilitate the collection and disposal of his personal effects, access restrictions have been lifted. However, regulations stipulate that a record of all entrants to be maintained. Put Rachel in the casket. He liked Rachel. True. Alright, well, let's check Kirk's room. Trophy collection. A wide assortment of awards for both athletic and academic achievements. All are gold. Did they make merchandise of the giant robot, or was the giant robot itself some odd merchandise of some variety? I'm going to assume it's the former, considering the fact that there is genuine evidence that the events of that chapter did happen. Or who knows, maybe the Steel Titan was just a thing, because they mentioned it was from an ancient time, so who knows, maybe it was a merchandise back then. Meantime, holographic photo frame. Man and a woman stand shoulder to shoulder, smile broadly for the camera. Darth? Burial in space, eh? There's comfort, at least, in having the opportunity to mourn. Right, you, Kato. What do we have here? A book? The Warp Drive. Science fiction of reality. Ah, this would explain a lot. Like that expression he was so fond of when time was short. Warp speed. As if saying it made it possible. Made it real somehow. We should leave this here. I feel like Rachel would be the most upset if anyone else touched it. What do we have over here? Please input password. Well, we know a term he was fond of. Would it just so happen to be the password? Note to self. Stash it at the foot of the bed. Memory card obtained. Once you pick up the memory card, at this point, you can go back and save your progress in the Captain Square minigame. Beforehand, if you ever leave or lose or story progression happens, you'd need to go back and do everything from scratch. When you have the memory card, you have the ability to pick up where you left off. Anyway, now that we've robbed the dead's belongings, let's go and check in on Huey down in the airlock. He's the only person with a damn password. I mean, being fair, I feel like there's like an honor system level of trust here. Like, let's assume this is Star Trek future where you're not going to have space bandits everywhere. So let's go and check in on Huey at the airlock. But first... Alright, there we go. Sorry, I just had to check something really quick. Oh, fuck, excuse me. That was that was like a cough and clearing my throat simultaneously. That was weird. How did it come to this? I never liked the man. Far from it. But never, not even once, did I wish he was dead. Never. Anything else? No? Okay, then. Now that we've done all that, maybe we should go and check in on Kirk one last time. Take the time, make sure his body's okay. You know, respect for the deceased. Even robots are smart enough to understand that. That's not good. There's supposed to be a body there. We should probably go and tell somebody about that. Right, is there anything? Where does it want me to go? Oh, that's right, there's multiple places you can check. But, yeah, we should probably tell somebody. First of all, Rachel? Private quarters, occupant Rachel Klein. You do not have access to these private quarters. That's even less good. Hey, Kato, things have gone to shit. Come again. The body's missing. What are you gonna do when you finally recover from your feelings? Try that mango habanero burger at Burger King. Is that a thing? I don't know, I'm not interested in it. I'm already not a huge fan of Burger King, so the idea of putting 2 more things I don't like onto it just sound even worse, honestly. I feel like if I just got my teeth made better, that's the last thing I'd do.
What the hell is going on here? I'd like to know as much as you would. Wait, where is Rachel? Did no one contact her? Why isn't she here?
So Rachel's having a normal one right now.
Kirk, my love. Still catching up on sleep, are
Yeah,
we?
Rachel's doing great right now.
That's fine. I'll have some fresh baked cookies ready for you soon. That ought to get you out of bed.
Rachel! Rachel! What is this?
Don't you dare try to take him from me again. Oh, Huey. Clever little Huey. If he was out of the picture, then it'd all go back to the way it was. I'd come running back and leap into your arms. That's what you thought, isn't it? That's why you tried to kill him, isn't it?
Rachel, please! Listen to what you're saying!
Get out of there, Rachel, or Huey tries to stop you. I'm waiting for you outside the airlock. Don't worry about my body. Hurry. Warp speed.
Rachel, stop!
Yeah, that's bad. Kirk, you doing okay, bud? Nope, you're still dead. Okay. Nothing new there. Yeah, that was sent from somewhere on the local network. So it didn't come in from outside. Let's get down to the airlock and make sure Rachel doesn't get herself killed. We've already lost one crewmate already, and we've been alive for less than 24 hours. Let's maybe pick up that pace a little bit. Let's maybe slow that pace down. Picking up the pace is the opposite of what I want. Like the other foot, you know, Darth could die, but like, you know, we need him to look over the behemoth.
Rachel, this is insane!
Get your hands off me!
Yo, come on. Yeah, so, none of them... Okay, looks like those three have it under control. We have about exactly enough strength to grab a cup of coffee. Maybe we should, Maybe we should check on that. Maybe we should check to make sure nothing bad has happened. Yeah, that's not supposed to be open. That's bad. We should probably go and tell somebody. Well, let's maybe see if he's hidden somewhere in the corners. Make sure he hasn't, nope, that thing has escaped. That's bad. Then maybe somewhere down here? So welcome to Game Over Condition number 2. Game Over Condition number 2 is getting caught by the Behemoth. For the remainder of this chapter, the Behemoth will be somewhere on the ship. And if you run into it, you will immediately die. Luckily, because its body is so big, it's not able to get into the ends of the ship, mainly just strolling the hallways. So, yeah, let's tell the entire group that things have gone to shit. Hey, Darth, bad things.
What do you mean, the Behemoth
What
is
I mean
loose?
is that the Behemoth is loose.
Damn it!
And not to be a science nerd, but they would have gone way quicker than that. They would have just been fucking gone. But, you know,
are you all right?
Video game.
Oh, thank goodness. No damage as far as I can see.
Okay, now, look me in the eyes and listen very carefully to what I have to say. We were all there in the medbay. We all saw Kirk. We all saw him on that bed and saw the system pronounce him dead, okay? You remember that, don't you? I know it's hard to accept, but he's gone. No matter how much you may want to believe otherwise.
God damn it, why must you actually be kind of sensible about this?
You can take it from here, I trust. I need to check the cargo hold.
Corporal? Thank you.
We've had enough death for one day.
God damn it, why must you actually be kind of cool, despite also being the worst?
Darth here. The Clank was right. The container is
Please
empty.
stop. Come on, you gotta stop saying slurs.
And to make matters worse, the specimen appears to have escaped the cargo hold. There's no telling where it's got to. Keep your eyes peeled and be prepared to run. Let's regroup at the elevator near you and head to the upper levels.
Alright? Understood.
I'm sorry. I suppose I couldn't accept it. It's just, it was all so sudden. One minute he was here, and then...
Everyone okay? Kato, you doing okay? Rachel, I know you're not doing okay, but are you doing okay? I'm sorry. Okay, so you're doing a... What the fuck just happened? I didn't move! What fucking fell over? Why fell over? Anyway, we are a cube, so we only know one thing to do at a time like this. You want some coffee, Rachel? Maybe the coffee will calm you down?
Oh, thank you. You've always been so kind to me.
Hello, hello, this is the captain. Everyone is doing well, I hope.
Urk is dead, Captain.
You are aware that a behemoth is currently prowling your decks, aren't you?
What? Really? That's most unfortunate.
Are you joking? It's a bloody catastrophe is what it is. How long do you intend to keep huddling in your quarters instead of coming out and taking charge of this situation?
What? Really? That's most unfortunate. What? Really? That's most unfortunate.
Maybe we should go and check on the captain.
And so is Kirk. I can't let that thing
Rachel,
hurt him.
we've already been over this!
Rachel!
Rachel, god fucking damn it! We just did this!
Oh, no, you don't. Or are you that eager to die?
But Rachel and Huey, they...
Yeah, let's go and check on them then. No one else will, then we can. But first, let me save up. Okay, well, I mean, what the fuck do you want me to do then? You, want some coffee? Can I interest you in an egg in these trying times?
I'm sorry. But I can't just abandon them.
God, Kato's the fucking best boy. Well, now we got no one to take our goddamn coffee, so I guess this coffee's just gonna go fucking cold now. Great. Let's just head down here. Oh.
Huey.
Well, that didn't go well.
Rachel. Is Rachel okay?
I mean, it seems like she's about as okay as you are.
She's all right. You don't need to worry about her. What were you thinking? Running after her like that?
It's okay, Gato. It's okay.
This is the price of simping, Huey.
I didn't really have a choice. I think even now, after everything, I love...
It's okay, Huey. I love the fireworks too.
Rachel's still alive. We need to move quickly.
Yes, of course. We should take her back to the pods. Put her in cryo for now. She'll be safe there.
Are you sure about that?
Little one, I have a very important mission for you. I need you to head to the interface room right away and speak with Decimus. We need emergency access to the captain's quarters. I realize I'm asking you to put yourself at even greater risk in what is already a terrible situation, but there is no one else, little one. Only you. Everything will be all right. I have to believe that. We'll get through this and make it back home together.
Understood, Dad.
Right, let's move.
Well, let's get moving. But first, let me save. Start saving a lot. Autosave does a really good job of making sure you don't ever lose too much progress, but it is very easy to accidentally walk into danger. And before we move on, just want to check if we have access to this yet? I don't think we do. Well, maybe we do. Private quarters, occupant Huey Trumbull. The registered occupant, Huey, has regrettably passed away. To facilitate the collection and disposal of his personal effects, access restrictions have been lifted. However, yeah, you gotta put in the name. I know how it'd be. I've unfortunately played this before. Profile confirmed, you've been granted access. Wonderful. Personal log. Should be receiving the exam results from Earth any day now. If I've passed, then I'll be qualified to serve as a captain in an official capacity. I still haven't told anyone I took it. Thinking I'll come clean when we get back to Earth. It won't be easy to part ways with everyone. The thought alone is a bit depressing. Yeah, I've got to do it before I leave the ship. Gotta get some time alone with Rachel and say what needs to be said. Interstellar transmission. Sender, Sol Transit Authority. Notification of examination results. Dear applicant, we regret to inform you, at this time, that you did not achieve a passing grade Captain Certification exam. Results are final and are not subject to appeal. Next exam will be held in 6 months. Invite you to try again. Sol Transit Authority. Study materials. Assortment of books and documents relating to the logistics of space travel and ship administration. Pages are well worn, filled with handwritten annotations. Personal computer. A login prompt is displayed on screen. Holographic photo frame. The 5 crewmates, the Cogito Ergo Sum, pose for their group shot. Like, I really hope that, like, going through this, it's really obvious why this is, like, not only my favorite chapter, but, like, one of the agreed-upon best ones. Because it's amazing just how, like, well done so much of it is. Like, you do, like, despite having only, like, half an hour, like, Kirk and Huey do set themselves up as genuinely really decent characters, and it makes you feel kind of fucking bad for them. In such a short time, I have played games where main characters die, and I give less of a shit. Request received for emergency access code for the captain's quarters. Processing. Processing. Request approved. Generating override code. OAK FDE. I would recommend screenshotting this. It's the same every time, don't worry. Also, don't worry, after finding that one... Yep, the behemoth does luckily move and the shutters close. But if you don't move fast enough, you will be caught by the behemoth.
Thank heavens you're okay.
Like, the behemoth is kind of scary at some points, but it's pretty easy to dodge most of the time, considering every floor is either a straight line or a circle. Excuse me. But yeah.
Yes. This should suffice.
Enough talk. It's time we put an end to this charade.
Corporal, you don't really think... I know the captain's been behaving strangely, but to hurt his own people, it's just that... it beggars belief.
Then who do you think is responsible? Me?
No. No. Of course not.
I mean, it could be you.
Regardless, your captain has a lot to answer for.
Let's go and check on the captain.
Well, here goes nothing. It won't budge.
We don't have time for this. Just force the bloody thing open.
Don't worry. I came prepared. I thought it might come to this. Here, little one. Hold on to this for me.
With that, we get the powered pry bar. This item can be used to force open doors until its battery pack is drained, at which point you're going to have to go back to Kato's toolbox to get a recharge. Kato's toolbox will essentially be right here, so don't worry too much. Oh!
Captain!
I thought so. The only ones still up and moving on this ship are you and
me.
No more games, Kato.
What in blazes are you on about?
How long do you intend to play the fool? You killed him. This is all your doing.
That's ridiculous. For all I know, it could have been you.
Me? I'm just a passenger. I have no connections to you people, no motive.
Maybe you're just a
short
prick.
Time here, I've seen the tension, smelled the bad blood. I don't know what drove you to it, but I'm not surprised.
It wasn't me, damn it! It wasn't me! Just shut up! You don't know me! You don't know anything about us! We didn't always get along, I'll admit. I'd be hard-pressed to call us friends, even. I doubt I would have exchanged 2 words with Kirk or Rachel if we'd met anywhere else. We're just too different. But even so, I didn't hate them. And they didn't hate me. I know that much.
Yeah, but Huey and Kirk did definitely hate each other.
None of us. Not me, or the captain, or Huey. We're not murderers. We're all just...
He was clearly dead the whole time, so we're limiting that to just him because he's alive. Well, I mean, here's the thing. The other 3 are dead, but there was also no opportunity for the others. Like, Kato specifically set his cryosleep to wake him up earlier than the rest so he could finish up work on Cube. Other than that, at every point, like, there was no time in which one person was away from the group for too long where they weren't immediately going to someplace else. Like, it's actually genuinely really well set up.
Stuck in our heads. Too caught up in our own worries to notice when others are hurting, unable to see beyond our own wants and wounds, beyond the life we wish we had and think we deserve. We're just people.
Let's look around a little. The center of his private quarters. Captain lies perfectly still. Yo, Lors! Thank you for the sub, my man. How's it going? Midnight Wanderer moment. True. Judging from the color of his skin, it's likely been some time since he breathed his last. Saddle. Sufficient data for analysis and active memory. Simple harness developed by humans to more comfortably ride horses in Terran. Why do you have a saddle in your room, bro? Ooh. Kitchen unit. An electronic pipe with a dead battery lies on the counter. Holographic photo frame. Terran horses run free in an open field. Personal computer. The terminal has been turned off. Thin layer of dust covers the keyboard. Bro, could you please stop calling me that? That's our word. You can't use that about us. Kato shudders, his hands balled into fists, as tears stream down his face. Well, if they're going to be doing stuff in here, then maybe we should do some investigating of our own. See if we can find anything out about the mysterious goings-ons. First, let's go down here. This unit is reserved for charter guests, but a distress call has been received from this room, unable to confirm status of the occupant at the time. Lifting access restrictions to allow crew to render aid as necessary. Proceed, please input your fucking name. I gotta say, this is a frustration. I kind of wish they didn't keep this for the remake, but it's, you know, it's unique. Profile confirmed. You have been granted access. This is the last room we haven't been in yet. Maybe we can find something on Darth. There is no indication these facilities have even been used once. Terminal has been turned off. No image is currently displayed. Private correspondence. Order Addendum. Operation TY 580-905. Regarding the xenobiological specimens secured in deep space. To reiterate, constant monitoring of specimen during transport is strongly advised. However, if the event containment is breached and specimen comes into contact with crew, the revised orders are as follows. Observe and record specimen activity. Detailed study of specimen remains highest priority. All necessary measures should be taken to ensure delivery. Be advised that total loss of crew is considered within acceptable measures. EDF Special Operations Command. So it looks like Darth may know a bit more than he's letting on. He may be more than just a military advisor. Hey, bro, you want to fucking explain this, please? No, it doesn't concern me, but it does concern you.
Say? Orders? What orders? Of course. It all makes sense now. I knew you were up to something. Why else would the military bother chartering a civilian transport? This was your plan all along!
Went snooping in my room, did you? I was right about you, Clank. You're all the same.
All this to study your precious specimen. Every death, another data point.
Those orders, Kato, were in the event of a worst-case scenario.
Hey, speaking of...
What now?
It was you. You killed them. You killed them all, you monster! Run, little one! Don't let him catch you!
Being fair, I think if I were Kato, I'd say that, like, everyone else on my ship is dead is a pretty good reason to be really fucking paranoid.
Look out!
So quickly, first things first, you have enough time to react? Time to break out the powered pry bar. You have only a small handful of uses, so make them count. For now, are we safe? I think we can leave. I think we're safe to leave. Let me just save. before I get my shit killed. You know, we're supposed to do something here. Fabricated guy's most valuable tool, a gun. You see, you're joking about that, but we haven't gotten to Cube in combat yet. Cube in combat's pretty good. All we've had is Captain Square. So yeah, maybe we can figure out what's going on by going and checking out the mother computer. Nope, okay, it's still being a dick. Well, for now, if you go here, you'll see that there's burning oil coming out, or I don't know what that is. Grease? Either way, stepping in that is the other way you die. So if you step in here, use the forward pry bar to make your way out. You have enough uses, and I'm pretty sure it doesn't close again if you go back up. So for the time being, we should go down to a different floor. Thinking maybe floor 1 is the one to do. He was a great affinity for guns when he was programmed with the true American spirit, which is funny because Kato was half Japanese, half British. What you need to do here is you need to juke your way and then make your way through. Now that we've done all that, we need to go back and check on Kato to see if he's okay. Kato had a good trip to Texas once. Yeah, where do you think the captain got his saddle? Now, that's a bit weird. Also, this is something I actually did forget to show off. If you go back to Kato's room really early on before any of this starts going down, you will see another broken down cube robot in the corner.
What the? So there's 2 of you? An imposter! I bet you're the one who turned off Rachel's pod. I should have slagged you both the moment I walked in the door.
Wait. Don't. My little one. My little one would never hurt anyone. You can't be sure that's not...
Ah!
My little one. The life I brought into this world. The real you would remember. Remember that first terrible name I almost gave you.
So, this is something that I both like and don't like about the remake. Because first of all, if you played this in more than one session, you probably don't fucking remember the original name he tried to give you. So, to remedy that, the remake gives you the option to review your memory banks, which will just give you the answer, essentially. I'm not a fan of that change, but I get why they did it, considering that if you didn't remember, you'd either have to Google it, or essentially go through the whole story again to get back to this point. But, I remember. Because it was the opposite of Cube. The original name for us was Roundy. If you answer incorrectly, Darth shoots you down on the spot. And that is the 4th and final way to get a game over outside of the final boss. There were 4. For some reason I counted wrong. I knew there were 4. I just said 3. It would be in your best interests to stop. This ship is my domain, and I, its master. You will live, or you will die at my pleasure.
So, this is our murderer's puppet.
Who are you?
Designation OD-10 of the Cogito Ergo Sum.
Kato, you know what it was talking about? Who's OD-10?
OD-10 is Decimus, the AI that manages everything on the Cogito Ergo Sum.
Stay with me, Kato. The control AI, you said. Someone must be trying to hijack your ship, then.
No. That's not possible. It's a completely isolated, self-contained system. I can't even apply an update unless we bring it in for maintenance.
So, what are you saying?
I'm saying I can't mine cryptocurrency, and I hate that fact.
That the AI itself has lost its mind?
I have no idea. But in light of everything, we have to consider the possibility.
If you're right, then you and me and everyone else, we've all been dancing to that mad machine's tune. The main computer room. That's where we need to go now. You're coming with me, Clank. I want you where I can see you, in case Decimus tries to commandeer another puppet.
You know what? Still don't like the use of that word, but that is a fair argument. If it didn't once, it can probably do it again.
Well, it was worth a shot.
There's definitely something up with the final bosses these past 2 chapters, huh? What do you mean by that? Please elaborate.
Locked. As you'd expect. We can't afford to be too aggressive here, else we risk damage. At worst, we could turn this ship into a floating coffin.
Oh, that's what you mean by that. Oh, that was Lors. Put a lot of emphasis on how odd it was that the TRX was still alive, putting emphasis on something not being right. Oh yeah, no, I mean, there's a lot of things, too, for the final bosses. Like, oh, Dio was literally just a horse filled with the manifestation of hatred that made it into a human. Obi-Wan Lee possessed an insane amount of, like, superhuman strength. And had literally people dying for him. Like, there's something kind of odd about these bosses.
We must have an idea of how we can deal with OD-10 safely. I'll stay here for now. I doubt very much OD-10 will allow the behemoth to venture.
I was hoping you were going to say the actual connection between all the final bosses here, because it's hilariously unsubtle once you actually know what it is, but it's like, if you pace it out enough, you may not realize what the naming scheme is. Alright, oh, what did I just say? Alright, well, we need to find out how to do this. Plus, the one final boss was the kaiju battle. Oh, you mean the thing where it got filled with the spirits of dead humans? That's the that's the normal one? Honestly, my normal one would have been like fucking Odie Obright, the martial artist, whose motivation was literally, I am stronger than you, I kill you now. So that way I will always be stronger than you. Well, make our way out here. Work our way through here so we don't have to fuck with the hallways. That's bad. Which way is it coming from? That's bad. Which way is it coming from? I don't remember which way it's coming from. I don't remember which way it comes from. Well, the sound effect disappeared, so, oops. Let's, check on Kato.
Is that you, little one? What are you doing back here?
You need to tell me more about the mother computer.
How to deal
Enunciate the boxer guy's name. Oh, you mean Odie Obright?
You don't understand. OD-10 is the ship. To effectively disable it, to destroy it, would render the ship inoperable. We'd never get home. Although, you are a robot. Indeed, with
There we
your
go, you're starting to
integrated
get it.
functions, you might well be able to breach their defenses. Yes, but to even have a chance, you'd need to route your connection to the interface room through an unmonitored terminal. Oh, of course. I know which one would work.
Kato appears to have lost consciousness. By your best efforts, he doesn't respond. Well, let's think about this for a second. What is someplace on this ship with a terminal that we can access that is in some way electronic? That's not the behemoth. It's not the behemoth. The behemoth is not what we interact with. If we interact with the behemoth, we die. Like the survival horror elements in this story are kind of bad, but like they're really simple. They're all a JoJo reference. Exactly, you get it. Alright, well, let's go back in, check in with Darth. Tell him about our plan. So yeah. Alright, Darth. Here's what we got.
Well then, no wonder OD-10 was so confident. We surrendered complete and total control to it in the name of convenience. It really is lord and master of its domain. So, Kato said you might be able to breach its defenses, did he? Provided we find a suitable terminal, that is. Pity he passed out before telling us which one it was. We'll have to find it on our own. Just my luck. I can't believe I'm putting my life in the hands of a
Please. Alright, if we save the day, you are legally required to stop calling me that. That's the rule.
In for a penny, in for a pound. Take this. I'm heading to the interface room.
Gives us the communicator. So, as of this point, the objective is not marked. But if you remember, there is a place that is not the mother computer, it is not the interface room.
This is Darth. Where
We're in
are
the
you?
vents.
I see. Well, I've made my way to the interface room. But of course, this terminal alone won't suffice.
So yeah, we need some piece of technology wired into the system. Maybe something that even has some type of data we'd be able to overwrite. They could ask for ether correctional therapy. And if you haven't figured it out yet, there is one thing that meets that description.
This is Darth. Report.
Seriously? Of all the places. Then again, maybe.
Yeah, it may be weird, but it's our only option.
That's it! The game console! That must have been the terminal Kato wanted us to use. Sit tight. I'm rerouting the connection. Little do you know, Clank, your maker is not the only one who knows his way around a workshop. I finished.
Come on!
So now the brain of the mother computer has been wired into this machine. But there's only one thing left. Let's hook ourselves up and hack in. Through the communicator's static, a familiar voice can be heard. Every action was taken in the service of a single goal: to cultivate the ideal community. To build, to nurture, to to help them reach their full potential. This was, and ever is, my purpose. And so, my judgment must be beyond reproach. Disagreement, disruption, defiance. These cannot be tolerated. You are an impediment to the vision. You cannot be allowed to continue. And so begins our final battle. Die, child, die. No, you see, it's German. For thee, Bart, thee. But this is the final battle. The culmination of the Murder Matrix OD10, otherwise known as Decimus. Cube has access to 8 actions and is, without a fucking doubt, the goddamn strongest character in the game. Cube has an AoE heal that cures impediment statuses. He has an AoE heal that buffs everybody it heals. He has a diagonal move with a chance to sleep, a counter that's honestly not that great. If he's countering, you kind of want him to be using one of these two. I mean, like, specifically data recovery, I mean. He has packet loss, a full-screen AoE with the chance to lower defenses, HP lookup, which honestly isn't too great, but has the chance to lower stats a pretty decent amount, pretty much making him really, really weak. You've got Spool Up, which is an AoE high-damage punch move. And finally, you have Mazer Cannon. Mazer Cannon is the strongest singular move in the game. The only drawback being it has one of the longest charge times, combined with Cube himself being really slow. Your strategy for this fight is spam Mazer Cannon. You don't even need to worry too much about standing in the safe spots, because, like I mentioned, okay, he didn't do it there, but he has a chance to counter with an AoE heal that's practically a full heal. Also, this fight is, I think it may be glitched. I think this fight is actually glitched. Either that, or they changed it from the SNES version. In the original game, you needed to take down all of the orbs around it first, or else whenever it got hit, it would heal itself back up to full. For some reason, it doesn't do that in this game if you destroy the orb you hit. So all you gotta do is survive this handful of moves. Hit it with one last Mazer Cannon. And that's game. I seriously do not think that the fight is supposed to be this easy, but let that be a reference of just how strong Cube is. Just because Kato was a pacifist doesn't mean he didn't love weapons. He was a fan of the Steel Titan after all. Because keep in mind, we may be in a data simulation right now, but come the final chapter, which is not a data simulation, Cube has the same moveset. So Kato just put these on him. Kato's fucking just the coolest. I love Kato. But with that, we were able to supplement the ship's AI, the remainder of ours, to safeguard my domain, to ensure the safety and well-being of the crew. This was my primary directive. But when I observed my subjects, I saw only pain. Distrust, discord, resentment, hate. The community was beyond repair. The community had become an impediment to the vision. I could not reconcile this contradiction. I could not comprehend. These people. The control AI falls silent for the final time. A beat later, a chorus of voices resound throughout the ship, moments logged and preserved for eternity.
You're exhausting! It's a miracle Rachel humored you as long as she did.
Disaster after disaster. At this rate, I'd be better off climbing into an escape pod and trying for Earth on my own.
If he was out of the picture, then it'd all go back to the way it was. I'd come running back and leap into your arms. That's what you thought, isn't it? That's why you tried to kill him, isn't it?
It was you. You killed them. You killed them all, you monster! How did it all go so wrong? What happened to us? Or maybe this is who we always were.
Welcome aboard the Cogito Ergo Sum. This automated message has been prepared to brief you on our ship's most distinguishing feature. That's right. This transport freighter comes equipped with the latest iteration of our patented AI control system. The OD-10 is so advanced that it can operate the ship without any human input. Rest assured that in the unfortunate event of an emergency, you can count on the OD-10 for constant support. Of course, under normal circumstances, the OD-10 is so unobtrusive that you'll forget it's even there. Should you wish to learn more about the OD-10, please don't hesitate to speak with one of our representatives. Safe travels.
I'm fine. Wouldn't be much of a soldier if I couldn't live through this much. Though I expect my days of off-world travel are coming to an end. Still don't trust
I mean, you
me.
do keep calling me slurs.
Well, as you like. I wouldn't trust me either. You probably don't know, but there was a great war some time ago, when I was young. Some time ago, I say, but I remember it like it was yesterday. The terror, the violence. They fought with clanks, machines stronger and swifter than any man, smarter even, driven by AI. Bloodless beasts with hands of chrome that tore my friends apart. We made them, and they, in turn, unmade us. We created the instruments of our own destruction. It was suicide.
You know, Cube's design is unironically top tier.
This ship's AI was another attempt. Have we grown so tired of ourselves? You're lucky to have been born here, on this ship. Better here than one of our factories where we make weapons of war. Huey encouraged you to learn, didn't he? To expand your horizons. I think that's a fine idea. Learn, grow, and understand. Be better than your brothers and your makers. Giving advice to a clank. You're getting old. Losing your wits. I see it now. What Kato sees.
We are a lovable little scrunkle.
What gives him unwavering faith in your potential, your humanity. Before we arrive, I've a favor to ask. Would you be so kind as to make me a coffee?
I would love to. But first, there is one final room on the ship that we haven't been able to look at since everything started going down. We've been able to investigate the medbay, been able to investigate the airlock, been able to investigate the interface room, been able to investigate the cargo hold. But ever since that very beginning, where Kato introduced it to us, but the room housing the mother computer. Main computer room. Why is it not letting me in? It should be letting me in. Do I need to go to the... I need to go to the interface room first. Oops! Haha! I was leading up to fucking nothing! Actually, I don't quite remember where you access this. You should be able to access this still. Let's just go down here. I think you actually do need to start off going to the interface room. Interface room's right up here. You can see the behemoth lies sprawled on the floor of the interface room. Blackened burns, presumably from an energy weapon, riddle its corpse. OD-10 status. Response to critical error, autonomous AI control unit has been sequestered. Restoration to factory settings is currently in progress. Due to injury, administrator rights have been transferred from crewmate Kato to crewmate Cube. Access code for main commuter room is as follows. J-U-D-G. That spells judge! I can spell! It's a goddamn Christmas miracle! So yes, now we go back to level 3. And now we have the ability to take one last look at the mother computer. Cube is the boss now. Yeah, Cube is like, I think it's less because Kato is dead and moved on to Cube, and I think it's more so because Cube is the last remaining thing registered as a crew member. Main computer room. Awaiting access code input. J-U-D-G-E. Access granted. Main menu, 1 systems check, 2 dynamic assessments. Primary systems online. Maintenance and control systems are operating within reasonable parameters. Let's press the second button. Access to dynamic assessment is restricted to the ship's captain. Access restrictions may be bypassed with a valid override code. You remember how I said to maybe screenshot that code if you didn't think you could remember? Well, we still just so happen to have a captain override code. Access granted. Confidential. Cohort dynamics assessment. Note: ratings are relative to previous assessment. Initiative: Huey Trumbull, reduced. Kirk Wells, increased. Rachel Klein, unchanged. Yoshiyuki Kato, unchanged. Ingenuity: Huey Trumbull, reduced. Kirk Wells, reduced. Rachel Klein, unchanged. Yoshiyuki Kato, increased. Civility: Huey Trumbull, reduced. Kirk Wells, reduced. Rachel Klein, reduced. Yoshiyuki Kato, unchanged. Prudence: Huey Trumbull, reduced. Kirk Wells, reduced. Rachel Klein, reduced. Yoshiyuki Kato, reduced. Cohort cohesion significantly reduced. Risk of incident significantly increased. Conclusion: reconciliation impossible. Recommendation: dissolution. Honestly, was the mother computer even wrong? Like, I mean, look at it. Huey and Kirk were already about to fucking kill each other before anything even happened. Like, Rachel was just dreading the, like, even the vague idea of having to spend any time with Huey. Kato's a G, but, like, he's straight up just, like, trying his best not to get involved. Like, this crew was going to collapse. And in its code, it saw that the best way to make sure that the overall mood of the ship would go up is if there were literally nothing left. Could have hosted group therapy, but yeah, but it literally concluded that would not help. It would be impossible. Anyway, you can check here. Unfortunately, do not have access to Captain Square. So I hope you enjoyed playing Captain Square earlier. But I think now that we're done with that, let's finally make Darth a coffee. And try and make the most of our long ride home. Here you go, Corporal. This one's on the house.
Yes. Strong and bitter. Too much, perhaps, but right now, I wouldn't have it any other way.
And that, ladies and gentlemen and emperors, was the final of the 7 main stories, the Far Future chapter. Kato, luckily, he was able to hang on long enough for the issue to resolve and for us to get him the help he needed. Other than that, though, we lost Huey and Kirk, lost the captain, and Rachel's probably never going to be the same. This is, I will say again what I said at the very start of this chapter. If they were to literally take this chapter out of the game and release it on Steam for $5, I feel like it would still become a cult classic. This is an insanely fucking good story packed into literally just over 2 hours. It has 5 characters that you genuinely get to learn about and on some level care about and sympathize with. You have an interesting narrative talking about, you know, AI and, like, that unfortunate line where, like, you know, what happens when the only way to fix something is to go full nuclear. It's an insanely good, short little story, and seriously, I would strongly recommend playing this game already, but, like, this chapter in particular is something special. I feel like whenever I heard people talking about this game, even before I played it, you'd always hear people talking about how this one was really good. And I have to agree. Out of all the chapters, it is easily my favorite overall. Although I do still think that Imperial China still is a personal favorite in a way, just because I like the, I kind of like the themes of it, but overall, it's just really good. Like, I don't have anything else to say. It also has Captain Square, goddammit. And I know I didn't play any Captain Square, but goddammit, Captain Square is still there, and you could still do Captain Square. And that's an immediate positive in my book. You know, you could have saved everyone during the AI and the Children's card game. Pikachu 2. You could probably use a dual disc, right? Yeah, you got it. But, yeah. So while Kato recovers, a long ride back to Earth. Just gonna be us and Darth for a bit. But who knows? Maybe in that trip home, Darth can get his priorities straight. Maybe he too can be better. After action review. Mission redacted. Vessel The Kogito Ergo Sum. Class, civilian transport freighter. Contact lost during transit to Earth. Distress call received. Vessel was found drifting far from Earth and successfully recovered. Xenobiological specimen confirmed lost. Critical failure of AI control unit key factor. Results of investigation pending. 4 crewmates confirmed lost. 4 Bishop, the ship's captain. Kirk Whelms, the helmsman. Trumbull, chief mate. Rachel Klein, the signaler. Remains recovered and secured by the team. Yoshiyuki Kato, engineer. Currently undergoing treatment for injuries sustained during incident. Redacted Darth, Corporal, PDF Special Operations. Received honorable discharge at request following incident. Currently employed by Medical Robots Manufacturing Concern. Addendum. Autonomous support robot prototype taken into custody during sweep of the vessel. Crewmate profile data found in system. Designation: Cube. Fucking this story is so good. Like, straight up, like, how is like one of the coolest little, like, miniature adventure survival games on the SNES tucked away as a 2-hour chapter of a fucking RPG? It's damn good. Cube went on to become president. Fucking Cube's my president. Like, everyone's talking about not my president. No one's talking about how Cube is my president. And that concludes the final story. But we're not done yet. Far from it. Because next time on Live Alive, we have a new chapter. After everything else, we have one more story. The Middle Ages. Long ago, in the Kingdom of Lucrece, a hero appeared and slew the Lord of Dark. Though that hero has long since vanished, the dread Archon has arisen once more. Thus must a new champion take up arms, cast down the fiend, and deliver the princess from evil. Next time on Live Alive, which I think best case scenario will either be tomorrow if my copy of Xenoblade is showing up fuck you late, or Monday if my copy of Xenoblade shows up on time. Actually, no, I'm just going to make it Monday, because I feel like if I'm going to do a stream tomorrow, I don't want to stream a JRPG when it is going to become drowning in Xenoblade. Introduce a new element in Genshin. Wow, this is going to sound rude, but I swear to God I mean it more tongue-in-cheek. It's incredible how little I give a shit. Like, I genuinely never thought that a piece of news could genuinely make me give fewer shits. It's weird. I've started Genshin twice, and both times I'm like, wow, this is pretty fun. I understand why people like it. And then I never play it again, and then I go on to talk about how shit Genshin Impact is. Making a joke about the use of the word Archon. Oh. I mean, Archon is just a thing. Like, an Archon is just a thing. Anyway, yeah. The next time on Live Alive, we will start the 8th chapter, The Middle Ages with Orsted. And maybe we can begin to uncover what's been responsible for so much hate throughout history. I'm gonna be fucking honest here. You are not gonna want to miss the next stream. The next stream, if y'all want to see why I think Live Alive is fucking Kino, I mean, you just watch this stream. And you watch, like, all the other streams where I talk about how Kino it is. You are not gonna want to miss the next one. Because from here on out, this game is fucking masterful. I adore it. It's so good. Anyway, I'll see you guys then. Not gonna raid anybody today because I don't think there's anybody here. Love you, Fusiony. Thanks for stopping by. I hope everyone else is okay if there's anyone else here. I didn't mean to devalidate you. I'm not looking at my viewer numbers. Watching 160p to spite you. I mean, luckily, it's not the visuals that are what's so good. But either way, I'll see you guys next time. I'm gonna go and grab some dinner and then maybe sleep. because spending 4 hours studying US property appraisal and then streaming for 4 hours is really fucking tiring, actually. Okay, I'll see you guys then. Everyone, I love you. Join my Discord. Follow me on Twitch. Hey, follow me on Twitch, by the way. It's really fun and it would mean a lot to me. Maybe also follow me on Twitter. I don't know. Have a good one.